Hello, Ricky. How you doing?
Good. How are you, bud?
I'm doing good. I'm very excited about this episode. I've been posting that. You know what? I'm going to be posting a bunch of clips about this episode because it's near and dear to me. Um, Suicide awareness, suicide prevention, whatever we want to call it. But I think it's one of those things that people don't talk about, and we need to.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's pretty wild to see, people on the outside generally, you see them, they seem pretty happy, and I have had a lot of, deeper conversations even with like kind of strangers, people that I maybe don't even really know very well. And yeah, you just don't know what people are going through. It's just wild to think, but
Yeah, and Reese and I had a great conversation, but the reason it's going to be in like two parts is because my dad was calling me. I'm dumb, and I don't have it on Do Not Disturb, and I hit something, and we lost the first 20 minutes of the whole episode, which was our introduction. So Reese came back on Sunday, and we did, and then it ended up being, instead of 20 minutes, it was 47 minutes or something. And we might have repeated ourselves a little bit, but I want everybody to listen to. We're going to put both of them together, and I just think that you get little bits and pieces of this conversation that might affect, or you might be able to help some people.
yeah, I think it's great. We'll stick them together, and we'll put a little bit of a intermission in between the two, just letting everybody know what's going on, and then just continue to listen on because there's good tidbits and on both ends of the conversation. So
Yeah, this one, like I said, the conversation got going, and then you start thinking, and it was just for Reese to be a 22-year-old that really wants to get the awareness out about suicide, and then he's been affected by it as I've been affected by it. I think everybody's been affected by suicide somewhere or another. And to get the episode out, this is what we had to do. And I'm sorry that I I have that technological ineptness every once in a while, and we scramble, and that's what I had to do.
well, yeah, and I think it's pretty incredible to see these young men opening up about these things that are going on, because like I said, usually it ends up getting buried, and it could fester into a major problem. So I think it's just amazing that these young men are talking about it. And at his age, I probably wouldn't, it would have made me feel really uncomfortable. And now I think it's just really important that it's discussed and that the awareness is there. So make
Yeah.
sure everybody stay tuned and listen to the entire episode.
Welcome to the Don't Die Rusty podcast. I'm Rick Hanson, and we will be talking about living, not dying. We're all in this adventure together, and we will be interviewing people who inspire us to live our best lives. People with various backgrounds who will walk us down the trails they took to not die rusty. Adventure and life are many things to many people. It could be a sprint or an endurance race, but with each adventure, we become a better version of us. We hope you keep chasing those dreams, being the best you, and of course, don't die rusty. Well, hello, Don't Die Rusty Nation. This is going to be a comedy of errors, but it's also, we're going to be talking about a serious subject here. But thank you. I'm talking to Reece Schweigert here, the crying cowboy. I did an episode with him on Thursday, wasn't it?
Yep.
And I got through, and it was processing, and for some reason, 20 minutes, the first 20 minutes,
Yep.
my dad was calling me. Reese was here. You can say it, but
Yep.
my technological ineptness screwed us up. But we're here today, and Reese was kind enough to come back so we can get this episode next week. Well, this week it's that we can get this episode out, because it kind of lost its premise if we didn't have the first 20 minutes in there,
Yeah, no kidding.
Is
Nobody would have knew what we were talking about.
no, it was the introduction
Uh,
and Reese and everything. So I want to thank you for coming back here, and what we're going to be talking about today is suicide prevention, because it's an epidemic, and that's the best way to say it. Now, but first of all, I want to talk to Reese, let Reese introduce himself. And Reece Schweigert is a bullfighter, and he is known as the Crying Cowboy. You have T-shirts and known
yep.
on the IG and other places
Yep.
as the Crying Cowboy, and you bring awareness to suicide too.
Yep.
So I'll let you introduce yourself, and then
Yep.
we'll get moving along here the second time.
Perfect. Well, I'm Reece Schweigert. I'm a 22-year-old bullfighter from Piedmont, South Dakota. Yeah, and not only do I fight bulls, I try bringing awareness to suicide prevention and trying to stop the stigma.
Oh, it is a stigma, and this is why I wanted to talk to you, because why don't you tell me, how did you start thinking about the stigma, seeing, why did you want to start showing people that they bring awareness to suicide?
So at 16, I lost my uncle to suicide, and starting to fight bulls, like it's something that kind of saved me. So, and it's something that I've always tried helping people with. I was always home or someone to always lend a hand or give a shoulder to cry on.
Yeah,
So just trying to show people, especially in like that Western industry, rodeoing, ranching, farming. Like, I mean, our suicide numbers are sky high,
yeah.
and nobody talks about it in the rodeo world. So I just thought, why not try being the difference? So
Well, I got to hand it to you there for trying to be the difference, because I was thinking about this. I mean, it's funny that we get to redo the beginning
yep.
of this, but I was thinking about this because when anything like that happens and you read the obituary, nobody says suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking we need to have a little awareness about that,
Mm-hmm.
because this is why they died, and people need to
Yep.
know in some instances, instead of that whisper behind your,
Mm-hmm.
the talking behind your back and the rumors. We need to bring awareness that people do this, and somehow, if we could stop this and help people, it'd be great.
Yeah, and that's a big thing too. Like, you read an obituary, we'll never say that, and everybody thinks of suicide like it's like just like it's the most awful thing, and it is an awful thing. But I mean, that's something that people are constantly thinking of. Like that mental health. That stigma. Like, I mean, like for us guys, like it's different.
Yeah,
For girls have their girl talks and whatnot. I'm not saying girls don't have like their issues with mental
yeah,
health, but with the men, it's more prevalent. Um, like we don't openly talk about like, hey, I'm feeling sad,
yeah,
and so everybody kind of bundles it up, and you know you even say the word suicide and people are like, oh, well, you just need to like toughen up, and it's like, no, you need to talk about it, and people need to be there to listen and try helping. Even just sitting there and just keeping your mouth shut can make a whole what a difference, because a lot of people just bundle stuff up so far that the only way out is you know that path of suicide, and that should never be the case.
no, it shouldn't. And I agree with you. We don't need to fix people at certain times of their life. We need to listen.
Mm-hmm.
And some people need that shoulder or that person just to listen. I
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend that he was driving back by here about a month ago, and he said, "Are you going to be home?" And I said, "Well, we'll make sure we're home," and just
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what he was going to, we were just friends going to stop
Yeah.
in, but we he was here for 6 hours, and we talked for 2 hours, and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't say a word. And
Yep.
he told me, and actually told Cindy and I, that he'd given his guns to his with some other friends of ours, and things were going bad, and he bought another one and put it in his, was going to shoot himself.
Yeah.
And twice he tried, but he didn't do it. And he said, I'm not going to do it a third time. But I didn't say a word. And if people out there know me, I say a lot of words most of the time, but I wasn't there to fix. I was there to listen.
Yup. And that's something, if someone wants fixed, they're going to ask for it. But that's where you got to listen first,
Yeah.
It's kind of like riding a bike. You ain't just going to hop on and go and understand what you're doing. You got to probably ask someone, hey, how do you ride this bike? Baby steps.
Or kind of like you, and starting out bullfighting. How do you become a good bullfighter? That kind of stuff.
Hard knocks. Hard knocks.
But you have to ask questions and you listen.
Yeah, and you got to ask, man, am I doing this right? Or, man, what can I fix? And that's something where, you got to ask that if someone's coming to you saying like, hey, I'm battling with mental health. What can I do to help you?
Mm-hmm.
Is there something we can go do? Is there anything I can get you? Is there, do I need to help you out? Do you need to come stay here? Just simple questions. People, will come ask for help and people just flood with, you need to tough it up, or, oh, it's not that serious. Well, you don't know what's serious in somebody else's mind, because nobody knows how serious something is except that one person. I can't read your mind. You can't read mine.
And your big problem might be my little problem, and your little problem might be my big problem.
Exactly. Everybody handles pain and, thoughts differently.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you can't. Yeah, and that's one thing too. I think people need to stop doing is judging. Like, someone might have just been this close to, ending it. They come to help, and you're judging them because they're in a bad spot. Like, you're no different than that bad spot right there. You might be even worse. You might have just, pushed that. So I think people need to realize that too, is quit being so judgmental and, maybe just sit back and shut up and listen.
Yeah.
Try being that helping hand rather than trying to push it farther, I guess.
Exactly. Because I've been in those deep, dark places, and I've contemplated, this is a long time ago. Luckily I had the people that surrounded me, and luckily I had a mom that I could chat with, but I never told her how close I came at times, but we talked about that kind of stuff. But now when you start learning and you get confidence in yourself, and you start understanding that to me, it's like archery. And I didn't see it as archery because I love shooting my bow. Okay. But it's like when we shoot a bad shot at a target, we don't get that arrow back. But you know what? There's another shot.
Yep.
And we got to realize that not everything goes good, but we got another shot. So don't worry about the one shot if you're shooting a target or whatever. We got to worry about that. We got to know that we have another shot.
Yeah, the mistakes are going to happen. Yeah. Mistakes are how you learn. I mean, it's no different than bullfighting. I don't know how many times I went to a bull and, it's pick a side and go, and sometimes you just run straight into the damn things, and it's going to knock you down on your ass, but, it's you got to get back up and keep going. I mean, that's just life. You're going to have your hard knocks, but, just like I was saying with the bullfighting where you got to get up, man, there's been some times where I've been knocked out and I couldn't get up by myself, or I've been knocked down and hurt so bad I couldn't get up by myself, but you got to have those people there, in your corner, and, goodness, if you don't have them, you reach out to whoever you can.
Yeah. We talked about that being that 3 a.m. friend, and, the question I ask, and you might hear this further, and I can't remember, but we need to be that. We do need to know that we have a 3 a.m. friend, but we also need to know that we are that 3 a.m. friend.
Yep. And that's, that's the thing too, is like, got to keep your circle small, but you got to have that bigger circle around it. Like you can have people who you're friends with or you're real close with in that outer circle, but that inner circle, I mean, that's got to be your ride or dies. That's the people you go to war with, and like I said, I think I can't even remember if it was part of it in the beginning 20 minutes that we
Yeah.
lost or further on, but you know, I mean, if I'm going through hell, or if one of my buddies is going through hell, or I'm going through hell, that small circle right there, I mean, we're gonna go walk hell together, and why not? You know, if I'm there for you, you're there for me.
Yeah, exactly. And I have that tight circle. Like you said, I like how you put it,
Mm-hmm.
because I know who's in my tight circle and I know
Mm-hmm.
who's on my outside circle. And like you also said, sometimes those people switch.
Yeah, it rotates, and it doesn't make them bad people, but
No.
sometimes you just grow up, you grow apart, and it's not a bad thing, and that's just life.
Yeah. But some of those in the outer circle, though, you're still their 3 a.m. friend.
Yeah.
If
Mm-hmm.
they need anything like that, they need to call. And the other thing I want to say is, like, we're not experts, but we're trying to do something good here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We both been around. We both have friends. We both have
Mm-hmm.
had other people that we know that have committed
Yep.
suicide, and this is kind of close to the heart in that aspect. Is that we want to make this world a better place, and we
Yeah.
don't want. If you need somebody to call, call us. Or it's interesting. We were up at the rodeo, and we went to Deadwood to
Mm-hmm.
the rodeo, and then Cindy picked this up because she was talking to me. I mean, there's a you can call 988, and it's funny because here's a yellow feather, and
Yep.
it's about
Pickup man that ended up committing suicide, so we need to be someone else's pickup man.
exactly.
I mean, like, for those who, I don't know if I've talked about this, if it's in the back part or if it was in the
Yeah.
front part, but, I grew up riding bareback horses and, riding bulls. So, that pickup man, when I was riding barebacks, that was my best friend. Like,
Yeah.
like that's the guy that pulled me out of like that dark spot. My hands wedged in this dark
Mm.
spot, say, I'm fighting to get out. Who's there right next to me?
Mm.
Well, why isn't there nobody right next to him, on that other side? And that's just kind of like not in the rodeo preference. That guy has a job. Don't be that one
Yeah.
friend on
Yeah.
the fence trying to help him out. But, like that's just a kind of a metaphor. But why am I, why is he helping me and I'm not helping him?
Yeah.
And, yeah, I learned about those yellow feathers, about the yellow feathers. Oh my goodness. But I learned about those in Cheyenne a few years ago, and that just touched home really, really close to me.
It is, and that's a good metaphor of you have a pickup man
Yep.
if you're riding rough stock, and if you're not, and that's the saddle bronc and the bareback, but you're the pickup man in the bullfight.
Well, not only just that, but I mean, those pickup men are bullshagging for us. So
Yeah.
I mean, man, I don't know how many times where I was out bullfighting, and I got a little big headed and went out and picked on a bull a little bit too much, and that sucker just got tired of it and finally got me down. The first person was there wasn't the other bullfighter, it was them pickup men swinging them ropes, getting that bull off me and dragging him out.
Yeah.
I got a really good friend up in Montana. I shouldn't say friend; he could be my dad. Actually, yeah, old Luke. He's getting up there in age, but hopefully he doesn't listen to this. He'll kick my ass. But I won't ever forget. Like, I was up in Livingston, Montana. This would have been like 3-4 years ago now. And yeah, tearing this one big old C5 bull up, scary bastard too. I mean, this thing was monstrous, and that sucker kept pushing me outside, and I was basically fighting by myself. And anytime I got pushed out, right, was I about to get hooked, that bull picked up on Luke, and Luke got him out.
Huh.
You're always saving me, and I won't ever forget. Um, goodness, I think it was Parmley. God, probably 4 years ago again, and bull went after a pickup man, about got his horse, and I stepped in there, got hooked in the air. I think I landed on the horse, to be honest. So in a way, I helped him, he helped me, because that bull was probably going to come around and hook the shit out of me. But yeah, you got to have those people, and yeah, it's no different than the bull riding. If a guy's hung up, I'm going to get in there, I'm going to help him. or
Yep.
I'm gonna be swinging trying.
Yeah.
Like I ain't going down without a fight, and neither should that bull rider, you know.
Yep.
So, and it takes two, you know, it takes a team to do that. So,
Yeah. And you know, we talk about being you being in the arena, and we talk about like if people would sit and watch
mm,
and think about what they're doing, and you know, it's funny. It's not funny. It's interesting to me how popular rodeo is becoming
mm,
even more. You
yeah,
know, it's it's gaining more popularity with in the country. It's just amazing to me. Like
mm,
Deadwood was sold out.
yeah,
Um, but if people would look at the people in the arena
mm,
and see how they're helping each other, how this is kind of, I'm not saying it could be Gladiator, Spartacus.
it definitely
You know what
is.
I mean? It's some of the people get killed in there,
Yeah,
and we need to learn that there are people there to help save things, but bad things do happen.
yeah, bad things do happen. You know, there's a bullfighter. There's actually a story coming out on him. He had a, you know, he was working a bull riding, and this guy, I'm not joking, this bullfighter, he is one of a kind. Like this guy is like watching him. This guy just knows how to fight bulls. He knows how to read cattle. He gets in there perfect timing. Like I don't think I've ever seen a guy get hooked by him on anything. But I mean, he was working a youth rodeo one time, and this kid, you know, hit that bull and killed him. You know, and he was even talking about like he's watched that video I think 1,000 times, and there's nothing he could have done. He still saw it with that guilt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know it's no different like you said with the gladiator sports. Like last night I was in the bullfights.
Yep.
You know, those things go back to Roman times. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in the Colosseum, everybody thinks they fought lions and bears and tigers. No, they fought fighting bulls,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I mean, yeah, it's no different in the bull riding and stuff. It's not bull riding, bronc riding, anything like that. You know, it's not, personally, it doesn't like, if you really truthfully think about it, if you don't come from the rodeo or country lifestyle, you think of rodeo, you're like, that doesn't make any damn sense why anybody would ever do that. Because truthfully, it is not a smart thing to do because you
Mm-hmm.
are risking your life.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, man, I tell you what, there's so many people in the rodeo world who I'm not great friends with, but I swear if I ever had to call them, they'd answer. Like the camaraderie there is insane, you know. But goodness, I've been in bad spots even bullfighting, and I've had people jump over the chutes and peel the bull off me, or I there's sometimes the help gets in the way,
Yeah.
but um, you know, I mean, they're still trying to help. I understand that at a point, but yeah, the rodeo, it's really nice seeing that get bigger and bigger, and especially like with the yellow feather going around, it's raising awareness and stuff, and it's just something we're trying to build up rodeo, keep it a tradition because like it can be a job, but it's not just a job; it's a tradition.
Yeah.
Honestly, if there was no money in the world, like if there was no way to be paid or be worth anything, I would still be a bullfighter.
Well, I was going to go. what what got you to do the crying cowboy?
Oh, the crying clown.
Crying clown.
Yup. So, I mean, back in the old days, like the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. I mean, you saw every bullfighter doing it. But back in till up till the 90s, you weren't just a bullfighter. You had to tell jokes and you had to keep the crowd entertained. So you were a clown. And I don't know what it is about like the new day and age of bullfighting. Like it's really intense. It's really cool, but that old school style just really sat with me. And I always wanted to have the greased up face paint, and I wanted it to be, me. Like I
Mm-hmm.
wanted it to show something. And I remember, just looking through all grease paints and Claymore he did a sad clown, and I was like, man, that's really cool. And then I remember I was kind of toying with it a little bit, and I had a picture come up of my uncle, and it was him crying, and goodness, that was a funny ass day. But I
Yeah.
mean, you could see he had mud on his face, but you could see the tears coming down. It was thick strands of mud. And I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? Just gonna do big old white eyes like a clown, but just put two big old black streaks down the middle and a frown. Because my uncle was the one that committed suicide at the time, and he was that was my rock, that was my inspiration. So like anytime I put that on, I think of him. And it's different because you think of a rodeo clown, you think of like a happy go-getter guy.
Yep.
You don't think of a guy that's crying.
No.
And so people will ask, and it's like, oh, it's for suicide prevention, and they're like, oh. And then they really start thinking about it. It's like, oh my goodness, I never really thought about that. Because I have a picture, a big old bull of my good friend AJ Kraskos. Big old bull is on my hip. There's a rider that's down in between my feet, and I'm standing there, and it's suicidal thoughts. And the kid, that guy that was laying down is your loved ones. And on my shirt, I put in a text, and it was one phone call or text, because that's all it takes to save a life. And that's the first thing you'll ever see when you pop up my anything online. I think on Google, if you Googled my name, that's the first thing that comes up is that picture. So that's like, that's my pride and joy right there. That's my glory. You know,
I like hearing that, and you have T-shirts out too, right?
Yup. I had to get more made. I got to
Yeah.
get hats made, and I got these jackets coming in. They're pretty sweet, pretty sweet jackets, like a bomber jacket, real sweet lilac purple. It's
Huh?
cool. But yeah, I don't know. They just need to hurry up and get here, I guess. So,
No, I hear you, but I want for people to be aware
yep.
that you have some stuff that you can get, and how do they get a hold of you?
Just message me on Facebook or Instagram. Just look up my name, come up, or find me at a rodeo and just look for a guy that's got some crying clown grease paint on. He's got a big old Gus hat. And,
You did last time too. You'll see that here
yup.
probably, but I just want people, like, you can raise awareness by wearing that shirt.
Yep.
And that's what's important to me. Like, I want to get the word out that this isn't, like I said, we aren't the experts, but we want to help in any way we can. And this is some of the ways you are doing
Yeah.
more. I mean, it just struck me. Like I said, I've had a few lately, and then we know a couple people similar.
Yep.
We both know a couple people that have that we both knew
Yep.
and so I just wanted to get this out there for the awareness and stuff. So.
Yep. And it's different when a lot of people like want to help, but they just don't know how. And sometimes all it is wearing a T-shirt or and I'm not saying don't go buy my stuff. It does not bother me if you don't buy my stuff. If you don't like it, that's all right. But it's out there. If you want it, it makes me feel good seeing that around. That actually brings a big joy to me.
Mm-hmm.
But like I really want to start working with that suicide prevention hotline. Hopefully, get some stuff made with the 988 on it, and get something going there. And of course, all the profits go to them, and hopefully, and
Well, that, and I want to do something to raise awareness too. I haven't thought of what to do yet, but I want to do that too. But there has to be the biggest thing is what we're trying to say at this time, and the episode will keep going longer, but call somebody.
yeah,
And if you have nobody to call, message me on social media. I mean, I'll try to get there. I mean, I don't hear everything in the middle of the night, but if you need somebody, if you're thinking anything, call that little circle of friends that you may have. Don't be afraid. This is why I get on. Like, this is why I do podcasts, is because I want to raise awareness. I don't have that. I don't care what you think, I guess, is what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying. Go talk to somebody.
Yeah.
I have those friends to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
You have friends to talk
Yep.
to. But if somebody out there felt like they didn't have friends to talk to, come and talk. Give us a call, give us a text or what,
Mm-hmm.
I mean a message or whatever. I Here's the deal, and you're going to hear this further into the episode but
Mm-hmm.
you said nobody wants to die, they
Nope.
just want to stop the pain.
Yep.
And that hit me hard there. I've thought about that all weekend.
Yep.
So anyway, you'll keep on hearing more of our episode here. I bet, do you have to get going?
No, I could stay honestly and keep talking if you needed me to. So
Well, then we'll see where we go here. It's ranchers. We talked about this too. The suicide in rural areas is way too big.
yeah, and that's honestly with how people grow up. That's that toughen up. You you got to do it. You got to do it yourself. Like there's no help out here. That's just not true. A lot of people they think of failure as this horrible thing. There's a lot of people that they're gonna lose their ranch, and the only way is they feel like that's the only route. That's not the only route.
No.
Failure doesn't define you. What defines you if you get knocked on your ass and you stand back up.
Yeah.
And it's a horrible thing because I mean it's getting ridiculous. People are losing their land and they got to sell and they're forced to sell and it feels like their whole livelihood is just beaten on them. And it is. It's no different than in the rodeo world. I mean, getting bucked down off horses or bucked off a bull or, whatever rodeo event you do, or hell, even getting beat up by a bull,
Yeah.
Um, it takes a tear on you. It's a real hard, like the Western industry, it's grown so much and everybody wants to be part of it. But, nobody really knows like the dark part of it, you know. Yeah, it's kind of hard to even talk about because like with my uncle, he was a rancher, and I still don't know why he did it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's growing up, I remember going working cows with him or riding colts for him or I don't even want to talk about fencing with him. I hate fencing with him, but it's you see someone so strong, so mindful, so hardworking, and then it's just taken from you. I mean, nobody sees that. Then, and that failure, like when you fail, like in this Western industry, you feel like everything's done. You're like, your life ended. And that's why a lot of people go that route, and it shouldn't be that way. And, that's the nice thing about that 988 number. Like, that's an option now,
Yeah.
but it's just not enough. There's got to be more help for these people, and it's hard because like what else, like you can give everything, but it's will they take it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's hard because it's like some people just don't want the help. They think they can tough it out, but nobody can tough it out all by themselves. Those who can, they're lying, or they're who say they can, they're lying.
Yeah.
They got to have somebody, whether it's God or a friend or that circle or that 988 number. Like someone's got to be there for you.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to do that. Call
Yeah.
if you are in that situation. I think that's the part of we are trying to be tough and we don't call.
I honestly think the thing, especially with men, is it shows weakness. And they think like when they show weakness that they are a failure. And it makes no sense to me because I can't remember what animal it is. I think it's buffalo. But you ever realize like when a pack of wolves is surrounding, it's like no different with the calves. The calves are the weakest.
Mm.
Them wolves start circling around. What the buffalo do? Them strong ones, they circle around them calves. They keep them safe.
Mm.
And aren't we doing that for the weak one?
Yeah.
Is it? we're king of nature. Why aren't we protecting our weak ones? I don't care what grizzly bears out there. I don't care what wolves out there. I don't care what demons are out there. I'm I'm more than that,
Yeah,
and they are too. Like those are who are battling. Like they're stronger than that. But sometimes you can't. I mean, you can't fight a whole army by yourself. You got to have an army of your own. And sometimes an army of two is all you need.
it is.
Maybe an army of one, like there's one right next to you, and you help him.
Yeah.
It's there's got to be, and that thing of weakness. What people see weakness as a horrible thing. I see it as like I learned really hard about that. It was God, I remember when I was going through the struggles, and it's weird because I was a hypocrite talking about, well, it's okay not to be okay, or here's my shoulder, let me listen. Here, I'll give you my input if you want it. If you want to come stay at the house, you need me to just come see you, come get you. You need me to take anything for you,
Mm-hmm.
and then not doing it, like me showing that, like that's almost the weakness right there.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a while to realize that because man, when you're a hypocrite and you're helping people, man, makes you feel like scum. It does. And, the only reason is because I thought, oh, I show weakness. I'm less of a man. I'm not no less of a man. I stand in front of a bull for a living right now. I
Yeah.
mean, that's that's how I make my living. Now I go to animals that want to kill me.
Yeah. No, and I agree with you there because I have there's things that happen. You're like I when I was in my deep dark places, I was all I won't say that I was all alone. I secluded
Yep,
myself,
isolated.
and I isolated myself where I didn't really let a lot of people in, but I would go talk, and luckily I had those friends that kept on
Yep.
talking to me,
Mm-hmm.
and they knew that I wasn't Rick,
Yep.
and it's funny how you find the ones that truly care. I have one, we talk, my best friend probably, and we talk probably twice a week. If it depends on the day, the year,
Yep.
the week or whatever. But if without him, I'd probably, when I don't know, I can't say I wouldn't be here, but my mom kept me from ever doing anything stupid.
Yep.
In not that she knew it,
Mm-hmm.
but that I wouldn't ever hurt myself because I knew what it would do to
Yep.
her. But I had friends, I had a couple other friends that I could chat with, and they knew where I was at. And you have to realize isolation isn't good
Mm-hmm.
because all you're doing is getting in your own head and let the
Yeah.
demons beat you up.
Yeah. Your mind is a scary place if you're not in the right headspace.
It is
It's your
too.
worst enemy.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's no different than I can't remember if it's in the back part of the
Yeah.
episode or
Yeah.
if it was in the front, but like if you were shot in the heart,
Yeah.
you can still walk around, you
Yeah.
can still be going. You get shot in the brain,
Yeah.
it's done. Like that's your whole, your heart keeps. I mean, yeah, your heart's your main deal, but I mean, your brain's what functions
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
So,
And the problem with that too is you may die, but think of all the people that
yeah.
you're hurting in their hearts themselves too.
Yeah, and like how you were talking about, going to your mom. Like
Yeah.
for the longest time, my best friend, my traveling partner, he was my go-to, and we were very much alike because he was battling demons, and so was I, and we both got to a basic understanding of our demons, and knowing what you can say, and like, maybe he doesn't need to just talk, maybe he just needs to crack a joke and just think about something else for a second. And man, when I lost him like that, when you lose someone who you knew the demons, or you thought you knew,
Mm-hmm.
and they win, man, that takes you down a dark path. And, that's where, that isolation can really, man, that isolation kills you. because I mean your brain just attacks it, and I still fight with that thought of like, man, what can I do differently? Why didn't I? And then that guilt comes into me, and then that's when my mind starts going back to it, and it's like, man, it's like, and that's what I mean, like, going back to like you got to have that circle because it does take an army, you know, um, like man, we talked before the night he passed, or before the morning he, did that. I mean, we talked and talked and talked, and man, I thought we were good. We were good. I was
Mm-hmm.
going to go see him in a couple of days, and we were going to be good. Yeah, and then you go through that. I mean, that's a whole different battle.
Mm-hmm.
And when you like now, I got to live with that guilt, and I got to live with the pain of him not being here. I'm not saying like I'm angry at him or I'm disappointed. I just wish there was more I didn't. That's my biggest regret in the world is
Mm-hmm.
not being there more. And that's why, like, that happened in October. And man, that's just, that really, man, that killed my drive for rodeo for a while, for almost 6 months. I quit, sold all my gear, didn't go to a single rodeo, and I isolated myself. Man, that was horrible for me.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily at the time, I had a really good group of people who I was around, and um, you know, I lost a lot of people too. You realize isolation, those people that actually care, they care, and they'll come to you. But the ones that don't, I mean, they just go out the door. They just like, oh, you're not real. So that's what I mean. Like,
Mm-hmm.
where you got to also know what circle people or certain people are in, and that's what I was talking about, like with the rotating.
Yep.
And sometimes they just got to go. And I mean, that's not always the worst thing in the world.
No, it
I
isn't.
mean, you're protecting yourself. Like, it's just like bullfighting. Like, why I personally believe, like, a lot of bullfighters who are scared of the fighting bulls, I don't trust in the arena. Protecting bull riders with bucking bulls. If you can't save yourself, you can't save anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a rough deal out here. But you gotta just have your circle, and you gotta know. I wouldn't say you not know how to help, but be willing to learn how to help.
Yeah.
I think would be really good for a lot of people, and I think those that need the help, I think they need to realize that failure isn't a bad thing. The only bad thing about failure is if you don't get up and try again.
Yep.
And then I also think that, especially for men, I think this is something a lot of people need to hear, is weakness does not make you any less of a man.
No. It's interesting because I'm reading a book called The Warrior Poet Way, which is it's about being dangerous, but also being caring and
Mm-hmm.
being thoughtful.
Yep.
And you can, you have to have masculinity, and you have to have empathy. It's about bringing back how warriors used to be in
Yep.
past times. Like they had to go out and battle, but they had to come back and still take care of the family.
Yep.
So you had you had to turn it on and turn it
Yep.
off and still be all this all at once. And I think we've lost some of that because
Mm-hmm.
I think we're being beat down as males
Mm-hmm.
to be more feminine in some
Yep.
where and uh, and they don't know where to go. So I think we just need to be able to communicate better.
Yep.
I will say communicate better than I will even
Yeah.
say, you know what I mean? Because we need to be able to say, hey, I'm not feeling
Yep.
good today.
Yep. I'm
And
struggling. I need help.
instead of going out and isolating ourselves, talk to somebody. And
Yep.
I mean, there are people that go to, they might go to the bars or whatever, but
Yep.
sometimes that's not the place to go either
Yeah.
because you're going to get your
Well,
head all wound up with alcohol or whatever.
and and like how we've met Lacey with the sober
Yeah.
cowboy. Like, man, I think we even talked about this in later part in the episode, but like, man, nobody's perfect.
No.
Like, man, I've been there. I have done some certain things that I am not proud to say that I've done, and I think people need to realize that drowning yourself in substance is going to make it 20 times worse.
Oh, it is.
It's like a Band-Aid on a bullet hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might cover it up, but you're still pouring blood.
Yeah.
But, going back to how you were saying, the men had to go back or go to war and then come back and be the family. It's kind of like this metaphor. Would you rather be a warrior in a garden or a gardener in a war?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we went to the being gardeners in a war, and now we don't know how to handle it.
Exactly.
And man, I don't know how. If I was out there with a hoe and someone's got a sword, I ain't probably gonna win that fight.
No.
So my demon's got a sword and I got a hoe, and I'm trying to till up the garden. That ain't gonna go well.
Yeah.
So I think we got to be a warrior in a garden. We got to be these strong men, but also be able to be gentle. And I shouldn't say gentle, but be caring. Like, you got to be careful in the garden. You got to be careful in the garden, and be careful with your feelings and your emotions and your demons. Everybody has them.
Yes.
I don't care who you are. Everybody has them.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect.
No. And you brought up Lacey.
Yep.
Lacey got us together.
Yep.
And that is Lacey Singleton from Sober Cowboy. She's an amazing. She has an amazing organization, and she's an amazing woman herself. She's the hardest working person I know in trying to get the word out about Sober Cowboy, and she is just she is one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. Too.
Yep. And one thing I will say too about, man, if there's someone out there that feels like they have nobody, go to that Sober Cowboy. You don't have to be sober, man. I still battle with drinking to mask my depression. Man, I'm still fighting through that. I still drink a little bit more than I should, but that's my flaw. Everybody has flaws. You think Lacey looks at me different because I do certain stuff that no, she goes, okay, yeah, I see that. Here, let me give you some things that maybe can help you.
Yep.
And there's no judgment there. There's a group page that I think if you follow, it automatically invites you to this little chat. I haven't said one damn thing in there. I have not said a single thing. It's always been something I just have there. It's just kind of when I'm feeling down, I need to go there. Man, I got into a low place. I remember just going through there, and I'm not a really religious or spiritual guy all that much. And I remember going through there and reading a Bible quote, and I have a Bible. And I can't even remember what the quote was, I think it was a psalm. And I remember reading that and just sitting there and I've been drinking. I was like, man, I'm kind of down in the dumps, and look at that. And I'm like, damn, that's exactly what I needed. Lacey didn't know that's exactly what I needed.
Yeah.
But she gave it, to me. Like you got to be willing to go out there. I got sober off other things. So I am a sober cowboy. I'm working around the alcohol.
Yeah.
I'm not scared to admit my flaws.
Yep.
Don't make me any less of a man. No. And I really think people should really start thinking into that. And this is personally my opinion, but you can be sober and still drown yourself in completely different thoughts. So sobriety isn't always about alcohol or drugs or that. It could be, you might have just a bad, I don't even know how to word it personally, but you might have a bad tendency.
Yeah,
that you
bad
need
habit.
Bad habit. You might need that sobriety from.
Yeah.
So, that's why Sober Cowboy's out there, and I thank Lacey for getting you in touch with me.
Yeah, I do too. I called her the other day and told her, and she says, well, just getting good people together with good people, but she's the center of all this anyway.
Yep. And yeah, she deserves it. And that's something I hope everybody who is listening goes and checks out her stuff.
They should.
She has merch, and it's way better than mine. I promise you that. It's way cooler.
It is cool, and she's a cool girl too. So anyway, I'm gonna let you go here. It's funny because last time we talked for 2 hours. Now you were supposed to come for 20 minutes, and we talked for 40. So
double the time. Why not?
Yeah. So, But thank you for coming back here.
Rick,
I appreciate
thank
it.
you.
And let's stay in touch. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed the first half of this conversation. Like I said, this is a subject that is near and dear to me, and now you get the bonus hour and 40 minutes like a Joe Rogan podcast.
Getting more bang for your buck.
Exactly. And you know what? We may repeat ourselves a little bit in the second part of this from the first, and I'm going to be putting out a bunch of clips here, and I hope you enjoy the second half of this conversation.
Stick around for part 2.
Yeah, the glory of being in the arena. Yeah, I'm not saying glory, but it fulfills you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I played softball. I played football. Those, if you're going to put it in those senses, the arena, and then I found other things to do. But that's where you can live.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you need. I have a friend that he was in the Marines, and then we became friends after he got out, and then he was a bullfighter down in Arizona,
Mm-hmm.
and I understand he got. I don't know exactly what happened. He got hooked and was in a coma for a month and a half or
Mm-hmm.
longer. And in the dangers of bullfighting
Mm-hmm.
is there. But you know what? If you aren't living, you're dying.
Yeah. And, the arena, I'm a bullfighter through and through. I grew up riding broncs and bulls, and, I've only been bullfighting for 4 years, and I felt like this is just what I was meant to do. But, my glory is not even just, fighting bulls. It's, like when I put on this grease paint, like people see that, people know people know that. They go,
Yeah.
oh, that's a sign of hope.
Exactly.
And, and then I do my job and I get to do that while bringing awareness to something that's bothered me for years. I mean, it's unbelievable, like what bullfighting has done for me. It's changed my life, saved my life probably.
Well, I wouldn't doubt that it did save your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you are, because when you're saving somebody else's
Mm-hmm.
life, possibly,
Mm-hmm.
or for sure saving them from getting injured
Mm-hmm.
bad, bull come around and hook them or step on them or
Yep.
whatever, or get hung up.
Mm-hmm.
That has to give you hope as well, because you're helping somebody. And when
Yeah.
you help somebody, you feel better.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that I look at it is, why not me?
Yeah,
Like if he's gonna be in there, why ain't I in there?
exactly.
I'm gonna be there. That I can't remember if it's I think it's in the Bible. That's there's no greater man than that one that'll lay down his life for his friends. I think that's in the Bible, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yep. That's something that everybody got to think about. It's like, what are you gonna do to lay down your life for your friends? Like, are you gonna make that text at 2 a.m. if you think they're not okay?
Yeah.
Are you gonna make that phone call? Are you gonna go see them?
Well, that's kind of like the 3 a.m. friend.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your 3 a.m. friend? Do you have a 3 a.m. friend?
I have a 3 a.m. friend. I have someone who I could call who could get me out of jail if I ever went, or if I was broke down, he could find me someone, or she could find me someone wherever I was, even if I was in the boondocks or whatever. I have them people, and I'm happy I do. I'm happy they stuck around.
Well, when we were talking earlier, when I have that one friend that cared, he's my 3 a.m. friend, and I would be his 3 a.m. friend too. But I think when that question came out on social media, the question shouldn't be, do you have a 3 a.m. friend, but are you the 3 a.m. friend? Because there's a lot of people that don't think about it in those terms. I want to be that 3 a.m. friend. I want to be the guy that you are in trouble, I'll be there. Come hell or high water, I'm going to be there. And I think we lose that. And I'd like to get back to the social media part too, because the other day I posted a post about also we don't social media. I try to post something positive every day. But I also want to try to say, like, yesterday I was having a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it wasn't a bad day. I just woke up because I had a lot of things on my mind. Things were not really stressing me, but I was just like trying to figure out problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I go for about a 3-4 mile walk in the morning every morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to show people that most every day I'm happy. I'm out there seeing the sunshine and hearing the birds talk.
Yeah.
But you know what? There's days that you need picked up too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the other thing about social media is because people are comparing and contrasting themselves between these people that have that money, like you were talking. They can go do that stuff, and they are pushing themselves into the dirt trying to keep up with some other people. You don't need that.
You're not them.
You're not them. Be yourself.
Yeah.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm not going to be a rodeo clown.
Yeah.
I'm too old and slow anymore.
No, and that, so there's a spot for everybody.
Yeah.
You have a purpose no matter what. And that's something, a lot of people see everybody else succeeding. How many, I really think about this all the time, how many of my followers or my friends or, people that like my content really support me rather than just like what I post.
Yeah.
Are they going to be the ones like, last year in Greeley, I had a horn go through my knee, tear that thing apart. 2 years ago, I had a horn go through my skull in Greeley at Arena's a death trap. But I don't know how many people, I can count on my hand how many people came to the house to see me, how many people were there to help me, how many people were checking in constantly, daily, and get well. Sometimes that's not enough. Sometimes you got to. If you really care about somebody, you really got to go above and beyond, because anybody can get well, or it's going to be okay. That's something that nobody really thinks about. It's sometimes you got to put a little more effort in.
I certainly agree with you there. And those are the people that I love that have surrounded me and did put the effort in at times, because when they go through a hard time, I'm going to be there too.
Yeah.
When they need somebody there, I'm going to be there too. And you always hope that they don't go through that. But I really truly hope we don't go through that stuff.
No.
But I want them to know I'd be there. I want them to know I'd go to the hospital, or if they need me to pick up something, or be there just to be that person to talk, Well, I'll be there because I can listen. And that's like I've said, and I had my friend that stopped in here, I talk a lot, and I didn't talk for 2 hours.
Yeah.
I listened.
Yeah. And that's something people don't realize is, sometimes you don't got to say anything. Just sit there and listen. Maybe that's something all they need to do is just get it off their chest. You could be holding into something for years.
You can. And that's the interesting thing too, because I say the best places to talk, or for me personally, are on a hike or in a car.
Yeah.
Because you have you're not going to jump out the door. You got to listen.
Yep.
And some of the most bizarre things can come up, and you can just chat about something for hours. And that's just between the car and the hike. There's nothing there to stop the conversation.
Yeah.
And by the time you either get done with both, you could feel good. The best conversations I've had with, like, my mom was in a car, just us just driving down the road talking, or like with friends hiking.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, like, if that saved you or not, but like for me personally, but I did. I knew that people cared. And I knew that if I did something to myself, people are going to be hurt.
Yeah.
And I was never going to hurt them. I'm not going to be the one that is going to cause that pain.
No. And that's something people don't realize is, with people who commit, their pain, it's never gone. It just transfers over.
Yeah.
Goodness, I'm holding on to pain from years ago, holding on to pain from months ago.
Yeah.
And the feeling of, I always like to say I was numb at one point, but numb, there's no such thing as numb. A numb is a complete loss of feeling. well, then you'd be dead.
Yeah.
So there's no such thing as numb. So what you're feeling is, you're hurt, and that's that's when I had to man up and go talk.
Yep.
And
Good.
it was hard. You had to admit, like, I was a hypocrite. Like, hey, like, I was telling everybody, like, it's okay to talk about stuff, and then not talking about it. Like, oh man, I'm a hypocrite. It's bad. But that was one thing. Like, once I got into it, where I was able to talk, it's just so much easier. Like, nobody's out to get you. That's what you just got to find your clique. You got to find your crew, your 3 a.m. friend, or I have friends that all I do is hey, I got some stuff on my mind. You just care to listen? Same thing goes for them. They can call me at any time of the hour. Doesn't matter. I'll pick up the phone. I can go to sleep any other time. I got a lot of time left. So,
well, that is so right, because there are the people that just need to listen.
mm-hmm.
And you know what? Some people don't need fixed.
Yeah.
Some people just need to listen.
Yep.
I just need you to hear what I need to say.
Mm-hmm.
And let me go home and think about this. But I wanted to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with you, because I mean, I probably have talked more than I used to, but I thought if the podcast wise, Don't Die Rusty, I thought I'm going to put myself out there. I don't care. I guess I became confident enough to say,
Yeah.
you know what? I don't give a shit what you think about
Yeah.
me, because I know who I am. And if you think that I'm crazy, if you think that I'm telling you the honest to God
Mm-hmm.
truth of what I feel on this or out there too.
Mm-hmm.
And for people to, we just did one about judgment. I don't care. You can judge me, but I know who I am.
Yep.
And when you finally start feeling who you are, when you can feel that strength coming through you, and it's funny. I mean, we talked a little bit of, we both talked about a little bit of religion in this so far, but you're going to find your way. At 22,
Yeah.
do you think I knew what I believed?
No. And that's something like, everybody's goodness. I'm going to call out my parents here. They're always pushing me. You should get a full-time job. You need a steady 40 hours. Need this. No, I don't need that. I need to keep doing like what makes me happy, what I'm on this earth to do. I don't care about money. I don't need fancy cars. I don't need to retire and at 65 and sit in a house in Florida waiting for the hurricane to come and then go out to California or whatever. I don't need that. Everybody just needs to find what drives them and keep them going. And like nobody knows at 22. Goodness, I can't even tell you how many times I know people I knew who have been much older than me have switched jobs because oh yeah, working here, didn't like it. Go here. You don't know.
You do not know.
No.
I was talking to a friend yesterday, and we were talking. I was telling him I was going to have a conversation with you, and we got on some other subjects. But he said, like, he had a friend that wanted to be an astronomer, and he kept, in his parents and other people said, that's not a job. And he kept going on and on and on, and that's what he wanted to do. And then one night they're out there. I don't know if there was something happening in the sky, and he knew all this stuff about the sky. And he said, "You should have been an astronomer." Well, you told me I would make anything out of it.
Yeah.
You don't know until you make that decision until the switch clicks. Because you're like, for me, like religion wise, the switch had to click. That nobody can tell you what to do. No, I can't. I mean, like I said, you're living a life that I thought I might have wanted to live. Maybe not being a bullfighter, but being. I thought, well, maybe I should have went up and guided in Alaska, or I should have done something else. But for me, I look at it. Your life is going to go in the direction your life is going to go, and we can't. We kind of can direct it, but you don't know if there's going to be a Y in the road, and you take the left, and you should have took the right, and you don't know if what direction you're going to go is right.
Yeah, and there's no. I don't see the issue in failing.
No.
There's like in my like you're gonna get knocked like no joke, just like bullfighting. You're telling me I haven't been run over and knocked on my ass so hard and had to get up. Getting up's the hard part.
Yeah.
It's so easy to stay down and be like, oh man, I can't do this. But the people that can get up are the ones, there's no such thing as failure if you get back up in my eyes. And failure's not a bad thing. It's dealing with the failure. But going back to that, like with your friend telling him about that guy and trying to be an astronomer, like people don't realize like you being negative can just bring a guy down. Like, oh, you need a real job, not an astronomer. Hell, he can be whatever he wants. He's his own person. Like,
Exactly.
man, I don't know how many people, like, man, I've had some friends who just graduated high school and, like, man, they're bouncing from college to college and they're like, I don't know what to do. I go, have you ever thought of just taking a step back and doing what you want to do? Like, honestly, if you want to go have fun and go party for a couple years, go get a job, go get an apartment in a college town, go have your fun, figure out what you're trying to do, live your life. Like, if that's what you need, go do it. But you don't need to be, bouncing all around and running yourself deep into debt if you don't know what you want to do. Nobody knows what they want to do personally. You think, my grandfather, he runs a very successful road construction company. I highly doubt at 18 he's like, I'm going to work road construction till I die. I highly doubt that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe, there's probably that odd that, yeah, that's probably what he was going to do. It's probably why he's so successful, but, like, I don't want to be running road equipment. I hate that. Not joking. I worked for him and I probably lasted 2 weeks and I was like, I'm done. I hate this. I want to go back to rodeo. This sucks.
Well, I came out and went to college, chased girls, didn't catch them, but I did party a lot, played a little football, didn't know what I wanted to do, and I realized I needed to get out.
Yeah.
I realized I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went back to Heights, worked on a ranch, saved up all my money. Luckily, I wasn't that basement kid living with my mom and dad, but I did live with my mom and dad, and I saved up every penny and I went to Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on an egg exchange over there, and we were talking about the
Mm-hmm.
rodeoers I met,
Yep.
and I miss those fellas. I wish I'd be able to go back and see them, and someday I might, you know. I used when I was younger, I could do that,
Mm-hmm.
and I still have. I have stepkids, and but I don't have the kids that I have to really. Cindy's a great mom, and she, what I'm saying is I never had to worry about that growing up,
Mm-hmm.
and so I got to do what I wanted, and
Mm-hmm.
that's where you're talking like you need. Here's the thing that I think I'm not trying to pick on your generation,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm saying I went to Australia. I'm in Western Australia at that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a long plane ride for anybody to get to me. And I think kids these days, I think more and more people need to do something where mom and dad isn't so close.
Enabling
And
kills people.
Because they can't
Learn
answer your questions.
And they can't learn to live on their own. They
No.
always. It's funny because talking about the suicide prevention, like I was always saying, like you need somebody to lean on. There's a difference between someone to lean on and then someone who enables you. Man, I don't know how many people I could tell you like you need to get off. You need to get off the baby bottle still. Like you need to go live.
Yeah, and that made me grow up more. It was just amazing because I had to grow up.
Mm-hmm.
I had to make decisions on my own.
Yep.
And nobody's there to make them for you. Nobody's there to give you $20 either.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, I was on exchange, but you did what you could do,
Mm-hmm.
and to make the best decisions. Did I have a good time? I had a hell of a good time,
Mm-hmm.
and met so many good people. And the other thing is, I think if you, like I went alone,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of people that can't do things on their own.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the confidence to do it on their own. And I like going places alone.
Yeah.
Because you never know who you're going to bump into.
You never know. No. And that's honestly, that's the truest thing in the world is, you got to figure out at one point how you're going to do it alone. And that's not meaning like, oh, I can handle all this burden in me alone. No, I'm not meaning that. Like, go live life. See what it is for yourself, not through mom and dad's eyes, not through, your friend's eyes, not through this influencer's eyes. Just go live life yourself. The phone kills people off. They see all this and they're living through a screen. It's like
Yeah.
you're not even living at that point. It's just you're
Not at
just
all.
breathing.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And but I think also like because maybe you can answer these questions because you went through COVID as a younger person than me, so that I was already there. Like I had confidence. I climbed Crow Peak 100 times that year.
Mhm.
I did things on my own, and I didn't need. I'm where I'm going with this is I had my close friends already
Mhm.
because I believe it's interesting. You go through high school, we'll just say, and everybody thinks their best friend's going to be with them forever, and you
Oh,
move away, and your best friend becomes somebody else.
yep.
And that best friend that you had in high school, you just kind of float away.
Yeah.
You know, I'm coming up on my 40-year reunion, and I have hardly seen any of my. I hate to say that because I'm getting old, but anyway,
Yeah.
but my 40-year reunion, I haven't seen hardly any of these people.
Yeah. No, and that's man. I'm 22, and I couldn't tell you half the people who I went to school with, and I don't talk to them anymore. I see them along the way, and they're like, "Oh, what have you been up to? Fighting bulls."
Yeah,
You're doing what?
yeah,
It's completely different. You grown. I mean, you grow up, and some people grow up, and some people don't. You know, growing up means sometimes paths split.
yep,
And that's something people always think like, oh, well, this person hates me. They don't talk to me. No, maybe some people just got living to do.
yeah,
You
and,
know.
and that's, you know, I've talked about this a few times in a couple of other episodes, but I ask people to go do things. I'll
Mm-hmm.
ask them once. You may forget the first time.
Yep.
It might be we were in a hurry. I might ask you
Mm-hmm.
something. I asked you the second time. And if you keep on saying, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. Well, if I'm not as important to you
Mm-hmm.
to say, if I said, what are you doing 2 weeks from today? Do you want to go climb a mountain or do something like that?
Yeah.
I've given you a date. I've given you a
Mm-hmm.
time. Let's do it in the afternoon. And you say, I don't know what's going on. So I don't know what's going on is more important to you than going on a hike with me. I'm not going to ask a third time,
Yeah. Make a plan. It's
you know?
yeah, and that's something people don't really understand is like they half-assed even normal day conversations because they're so focused on everything else going on rather than what's in front of them. They're always back here, not here.
No.
Um, we were talking about Dougie Hall earlier,
Yeah.
which actually I'm wearing his shirt.
Well, I was going to wear a shirt. I have
Yep.
one of his
Yep.
shirts too.
Love Dougie. Dougie's a great guy. But no, you know, his grandpa Mouse always said something that was right. Sometimes you just got to keep your ass in the saddle, and that's what people need to start doing is keeping their ass in the saddle. Otherwise, they're going to go out the back door, and getting backdoored sucks. I can't tell you how many times I've been backdoored off a horse. But yeah, I don't know. It's crazy now the world we live in. Just the stigma of things. Just how people aren't focusing on what's real and what's the difference between real and the phone screen. And then yeah, it's unbelievable to me.
Because there's two things. Dougie Hall is, I mean, you know him. I don't. I would love to talk to him. He's a busy person. But Dougie is giving me inspiration on those days when he says, I'm Dougie Hall, your favorite Indian. If you don't like what I'm saying, then don't
Don't
worry about it
Yeah.
because, yeah, I'm still going to say it. And that's one of those cool things that I just respect out of him. And like I said, I share some of his stuff that he puts out, and I love it. And those are the people. If you're listening to these are some of the people you need to listen to because they have a perspective of life that is positive. and we are doing. He's doing amazing things. He has his bucking horses. He says that he does his speaking. He does everything else, and like I said, he's one of those people that I look at and go, I really like that fella. I would love to meet him,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And 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 the other thing I wanted to get to too is because I kind of, as you see, I like to read
Yeah.
here. In Viktor Frankl, I don't know if you have Man's Search for Meaning,
Okay.
and he wrote in it. He was in Auschwitz. I mean,
Okay.
he was one of the prisoners, and he'd talk about how people would smoke a cigarette the night before they committed suicide. They'd go jump in the hot wire and electrocute themselves.
Yeah.
And he never did that. He talked about how he would shave if he could find a piece of glass and shave to look younger. And here's the deal. This is what made me angry. I got kind of angry last night, and that about this people that have done this.
Yeah.
This guy's in a concentration camp, Auschwitz. I think he was in a couple more, and he never gave up hope. And he could have died.
Yeah.
I mean, he lived through this concentration camp, and he went in with nothing, came out with nothing because they took everything away from him. And you say that these problems are worse than he had?
Yeah. And that's something, is everybody has the problems, but it's whether you're willing to admit the problems or willing to say, "Hey, I need help." And and man, I can't tell you how many times I've just sat in my car and banged on my steering wheel because I'm like, why? It made no sense.
And I agree, and we all grieve in our own manners with whatever, that kind of stuff. But there is no answers. I don't care who or what happens. Even if you wrote a note, there's no answers.
No.
There's no closure, because you're always we're always going to be asking, could I have done something? Why did you do it? All these other things. There's no note or phone call before you've done it to really make me feel like, oh yeah,
and that's something too. Like, there's no such, man. This is one thing that I've stuck with is I've been around, like, the last funeral for my buddy that passed. I was taking horrible care of myself. I could not take care of myself. His mom literally had to drag me out by my ear and send me off to his grandparents to go sleep because I felt like I was right next to him, and I was like, what can I do to get you back? Can't get that back. There's no closure out of that. I was being horrible to myself. I didn't even sleep at his grandma's, which his mom's gonna probably beat me up for that now. But that's something. There's not gonna be closure ever. And the saying, like, oh, it's gonna get better. It will get better, but always remember that it's not ever gonna just go away. Like, me losing my traveling partner. God, I grew up with him. Like, it's not just growing up with somebody, but it's when it's like that high school friend. Like, you guys don't split off and you grow up together and you build yourself up and you're just around them, and like, this is the one thing, like, I knew his demons and he knew mine well. And the worst part is the night he did it, we talked on the phone, and man, that was one of them where it was like, I could have went down there and stayed with him, or I could have been like, do you need me to bring you anything? Do you want to go do anything? And when he did it, I mean, that was just, this is my fault. That guilt will, especially with stuff like that, people need to realize, like, it's not your fault. It's not your fault that they were battling stuff that they can't talk about. It's nobody's fault. Sometimes the demons win. I mean, there's wins and losses and everything. No different than you playing football.
Yeah.
You're gonna win, you're gonna lose.
Yep.
Some people lose that fight, and And it just, I don't know how to really explain it, but like that loss, that guilt, you're like, I bet you if you lost a football game, last second deal, oh, I could have made this play. It could have been different.
Yep.
I live with that every day. I think about, oh man, maybe I should have just went down there. Maybe I should have went and worked with him. Maybe I should have asked him to come stay with me. Maybe should have, would have, could have. I can't do
Mm.
anything anymore. And it like breaks me down. It hurts. Then I realize it's like, I got to live for him now. Like,
And you are
mm-hmm.
with your faith, with your
Yep.
pain and the way you're living,
Yep.
and we can't, like you said, we can't blame
Mm-hmm.
ourselves for
No.
things that you knew as demons. The demons win,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not trying to say that they always win, but we all have those demons we have to fight.
And there's some of them that'll just beat you
Yeah.
down, and some of them just don't let you up. And sometimes that's when you got to have a tap out, have somebody else come in and help. That's something like that's why I'm like very prominent on like if you're a guy and you need to talk. Like I would. This is something like I have known you for what, maybe a whole whopping 3 days.
Yeah.
I would much rather you call me at 3 in the morning saying, "Hey, I'm upset. Like I am not doing well mentally. I'm thinking about doing something. I feel like I'm going to harm myself."
Yeah.
I'd much rather come here at 3 in the morning and sit down and talk with you than read an obituary.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, definitely. I mean, but it's interesting how things happen and like this because
mm-hmm.
now we have this friendship,
Yep.
and you can do that because you can have those people that understand,
Mm-hmm.
those that there are demons in everybody's head.
Yeah.
And here's the one other funny thing is because my wife, she, I don't know if she shakes her head sometimes or not at me, but there are people she's never met in her whole life that
Mm-hmm.
I meet. Like I go places and I meet people and I say,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, you can stay at our house," and
Yep.
then probably maybe a month or some other time they call me up. Yep, we got a basement, and she
Yep.
doesn't know who they are,
Yep.
but you never know if they do need a place to
Yeah.
go. They don't. You don't know if.
Mm-hmm.
But she likes it, But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I invite everybody to stay,
Yeah.
and I bet sometimes I think she just shakes her head
Yep.
because, but that's the way I am,
Yeah.
Like we met, you can stay at our house if you're
Yep.
passing through. If you need a place to sleep, and she's that way too.
Mm-hmm.
Cindy's awesome in that matter.
Yep. And one thing I think people need to learn too is, like
Yeah,
Cindy's your wife.
yeah.
Like you're gonna like complete opposites. I'm assuming. Like, does she go out? Is she a very big people person? Like, goes to make a big,
Mhm.
likes to talk about certain things.
I'm more of the talker.
Yep. So she's a little more laid back. Like the
Yeah,
opposites attract.
yeah.
So that's something people need to realize. It's like, okay, well, not only like I bet you could be quiet too, and she could
Mhm.
talk. I mean, it's
Yeah.
something that works. But I mean, one thing that I have always preached, and this is just coming from living out on the road. I'm not joking you. I've been living out on my Ford Expedition for I don't know how long now, and I'm not joking you. I've been sleeping in rest stops, gas station
Mm.
parking lot, casino parking lots are my favorite because then they come and knock outside and they're like, "What are you doing? Sleeping? What do you think? This is my home." But no, it's you always got to have those people like around, like, the ones like, man, I'm in a pickle. I need a place to go.
Yeah.
You also got to be that person too. Like, man, I have a really good friend from Florida, and me and him have gotten really close. We went to a bullfight together in Alabama this past year. And man, I can't tell you how many times where I could call him like, "Hey, I'm in a pickle financially. How much you need?" And I don't care. Just
Yeah.
how much you need? This X amount. It's there without like not even just saying like if you can spot that, no, it's
Yeah.
already there. Same thing goes for him. Like, man, if he needs anything, I'm there.
Yeah.
If he needs it, I'm there. He needs a ride from the airport. I don't care how far it is. I'm gonna go get him.
Yep.
He's in the hospital. Goodness, I bet you he'd do the same thing. Like, you build those friendships along the way. Like, man, I split up with my previous girlfriend, my daughter's mom.
Yeah.
So I mean, he was one like, "You just want to come move down to Florida?" I was like, "Well, I can't really do that right now, but you never
Yeah.
know."
Yeah.
But I appreciate the offer. You got to have those people that are willing to be like, "Man, are you all right?" Let's listen to your things and be like, "Hey, I got a place for you to if you want to come." And that's something that I think that needs to be talked about too. Is you can't save anybody that doesn't want to be saved, and it's a hard pill to swallow. But I mean, you can lend out, give everything you got, and some people just can't be saved. I think that's something people need to learn about is sometimes you're fighting a losing battle and you're just not going to win. But you always got to have that hope because you never know. Maybe they do win.
Yeah.
It's like Rocky fighting Drago.
Yeah.
There's no way in real life like Drago was going to kill Rocky.
Yeah.
Like there was no way in hell that wasn't going to happen. That guy was on steroids. Rocky was eating raw eggs on a mountain. Like that's not happening.
Yeah.
But, there's always hope. And what happened? Rocky won.
Yep.
So
that's true. And that, because I'm a big Rocky fan too. There's a lot of places that Rocky probably should have lost, but
yeah.
there's also heart.
Mm-hmm.
And the heart is the one part that for him was, and you got to know, and there was always a switch that Rocky had to turn on in his training.
Yep.
Adrian says, go win, just win, or whatever. But we needed that. He needed that. But, and it's funny too, we're talking about this stuff in the red clay. I don't know if you're a red clay strays fan.
I'm a big red clay strays fan.
And we went down to Cheyenne last year and saw him. And that's one of the bands. I mean, they talk about a lot of mental fitness. I mean, the devil in my ear. And that's where I was going to go with that, is because we don't know the devil what the devil is saying in those people's ears. We don't. I'm still fine.
Yep.
Drowning.
Drowning's a big one. I've never felt alone in a crowd so full of folk.
Yeah.
Man, you can tell those people who are alone, and sometimes they're even just the loudest ones.
Yeah.
And that's something people got to understand. It's like it's okay to be not okay. It's okay not to be okay. Like I've been saying that for I don't know how long now, and it's just become a statement. Like I've been telling people, like goodness, one of my good friends, she called me crying the other night, and she's like, "I'm a mess. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm this. I'm like, it's okay not to be okay, right? Like, she's like, well, I was like, well, as I can tell you the truth, I think maybe you just need to take a step back, go drink some water, and go take a nap, and see where you're at now, and then come call me later. But I think you just need to realize, like, it's okay not to be okay. Like, and kind of sat with her, and she was like, man, maybe you're right. I was like, I know I'm right. I was not okay, and I'm not okay still, but
no,
I'm okay.
And I agree with you, because sometimes people need to. They put on, like you said, we're saying earlier there, you put on that smile and you fake it till you make it kind of thing. But people need to realize that you don't have to fake it.
No,
you do need to learn that, there's things going on in people's lives.
Yeah.
In your life too. And you don't have to be on it all the time.
Yeah.
You don't have to be that chipper person. You don't have to be that, the helper, the fixer, you need sometimes to be fixed yourself.
Yeah. And and that's something like, sometimes you just got to take a step and look in the mirror, take a step back, look in the mirror, and like, who am I?
Yeah.
Because if you can't, like, who are you?
Yeah.
If you can't tell me straight there, right then, I know you might need to be fixed.
Yeah.
I know if I look myself in the mirror, I go, I'm Reece Schweigert. I'm a bullfighter. I'm a suicide prevention, or suicide awareness specialist, I guess is what I'd call it. But, that's how I look at myself.
Well, I look at myself as Rick Hanson, and I look at myself as the person that I always said I never wanted to be labeled as one person, because I think if you label yourself, you put yourself in a pickle. You everybody expects one thing from you, and I have so many different interests in this world that people don't know about.
Yeah.
But I think that I always just say I'm Rick, and this is, you don't know who you're going to get this day, but this is who I am.
So that's the funny thing about bullfighting. I've gotten to learn from really good people like Cody Webster. He might go down as the greatest bullfighters of all time. Like a lot of people claim, like, oh, this person. Yeah. I got my style. I learned it from Steve Mowry, a bunch of them old school guys like Wickpath and Miles Hare and all them. Lloyd Ketchum too. Well, I'm not Steve Mowry, Lloyd Ketchum, Miles Hare. I'm Reece Schweigert. Like
Yep.
that's who I am. And that's the funniest thing is we'll be out, especially after rodeos. I hang around. I like being around a crowd. Like I
Mm-hmm.
like to talk to people. And my favorite thing is when someone doesn't know who I am, or if I don't know them, and I go, "Oh, what do you do?" I'm just me. I just do myself.
Yeah.
And when I get the same answer, it's like, okay, I understand I can get with you because you're not just one thing. Like, it's I don't know, people they want the label a lot of the time, but don't want to, do what it does to take the label. And I think that's the worst thing about labels. Like as a bullfighter, I've done my job to earn that title. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I still got long way to go. I still got a lot of learning.
Yep.
Even the suicide awareness specialist, I guess, is what it would be called, or an influencer about it.
Yeah.
I still got a long way to go. Like I wish I was doing stuff like Dougie did. I that's one thing I need to get on my own ass about. It's like, I need to start posting this stuff, like, telling people, hey, it's okay not to be okay.
Yep.
Start doing that rather than, like making a few posts here and there. And, I almost fall far behind because I'm trying to do too many things at once. And it's like, I just need to do me
Yeah.
and take a step back from it all.
And I think it'd be like, I mean, I look at myself, but I would say you're Reece Schweigert, bullfighter, but that's only one thing.
Yep.
I'm more than that. You're
Yep.
more than that. I'm Rick Hanson, bow hunter. I'm Rick Hanson. Don't die rusty. I'm Rick
Yeah.
Hanson. I think that maybe some of these people that we know that have done have committed suicide.
Yeah.
They might not have known who they were.
Yeah. Oh, that's the realest thing in the world, because people don't realize this, and this is something that I've learned from being on that edge of like, I'm gonna do it, and I don't want to do it. I want to be helped. You learn it when you're in that battle of if you are who you think you are, or you are who you are because your demons are kicking your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I remember when my buddy passed and I was really struggling. I was sitting. I went and stayed at my friend's house in Chattering, actually, after the funeral, and I was sitting there. Man, I was like, man, I'm all alone here. I was like, I'm in this empty house. Like, God, I don't want to be here. I just want to be done. I'm really thinking about it. I'm like, this ain't me. Like, man, I remember like running around rodeos with this kid and causing trouble. Like, I remember stealing goats. Like, I remember, having a super soaker and, some girl would be warming up her barrel horse and just drenching her with it. And that's where it's like everything flashes before your eye. You're going to have those flashes. Like, nobody wants to die. And that's one thing with like the suicide deal that's really bugs me, is nobody wants to die. They just want the pain to be done.
Yeah.
And, they claim they're numb, but no, numb's not. There's no such thing as numbness.
No,
It's still a feeling.
it is, and it's interesting you say that. Like, I mean, you said it before too, but the numbness. I thought I was numb, but you're not numb.
No.
You just keep on going down deeper and deeper, and you. It's kind of like when you get hurt.
Yep.
And I'm talking physically, like that bolt, that horn goes through your knee or whatever, or leg, and the adrenaline comes down, and you don't feel anything.
Yep.
But that's because the adrenaline went to your pain,
your leg,
right there.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's not numbness.
No.
And that's what I feel you aren't numb because the pain is still coming behind it.
And that's something people don't realize about that. And I'm 22. I'm not saying I'm an expert at all, I don't even know why I was saying specialist. I'm not special. I'm like special about this at all.
But
like,
I know.
But like the amount of stuff that I've gone through, like, I'm not saying what I've gone through is worse than what you've gone through. Like everybody battles their stuff so differently. Like everybody fights their own demons. But the one thing I've learned is I've learned how to beat my demons. And I'm learning how in at 22, like that's a very important thing. Like I'm young and I'm learning how to like, okay, well this is happening. Well, I know what to do. I know how to get a hold of my friends, tell them like, hey, I need to do this, this, this. That don't work. I know I gotta just rely on this, this, this. That don't work. Go, you circle the wagons.
Yeah.
And people just forget. They oversimplify it. Sometimes you just take a step back, do what you got to do. Go to your people. Go to, your safe place. Do what you love. Because like that pain, that pain's gonna follow you no matter what. The pain never goes away. If anybody says like the pain went away, they're lying. But how you handle the pain is if you can build up that will, like I'm better. Even though I'm not okay, I'm okay.
Yep.
Like that's all it takes. You just got to simplify it down to that. Some people just need to realize that. Take a step back and
exactly, because the pain doesn't go away, but I'm trying to think of the right words to say. I mean, you were saying you're not a specialist, but it doesn't matter if you're raising awareness. It doesn't matter what you say you are. I look at it like you talk about learning, and you talk about learning about yourself.
Yeah.
Like I know, and actually Cindy knows now. Like there are times that she says, "Get out of the house and get up in the woods."
Yep.
There are times that I need to drive down the road and you can hear my vehicle coming down the road and the red clay strays or something like that's on. Because when I listen to some certain music like that, and you listen to Drowning, and you go, "What the hell am I thinking about now? I'm in a bad place right now. I don't feel good. I'm down and out." And listen to them. Maybe make a phone call. Just have a chat.
Yep.
And I know that I truly know. Well, I shouldn't say I know but I do know that I'm never going to go to that place, that far place. And I do know the demons I have in my head. And I do know that I've learned how to battle them.
Yeah.
And there's different ways to battle your own demons.
Yeah.
Your demons are different than mine, but you know what? Like what I'm saying is sometimes you would not even let them into your head, like in some aspect. I don't know how to say it, and sometimes you need a sword. Sometimes you need something to battle them. But otherwise, it's like, you know what? You're not going to win today. Not today. Not today.
You learn to live with them.
Yeah.
And that's where you got to be. Is you're never going to beat them completely gone. The only thing they can do is they can beat you to where you lose your mind and you do something permanent to a temporary thing.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that temporary means it can be for 100 years.
Yeah.
Permanent. It's done. You're out. And that's the thing. It's like, stuff doesn't change overnight. And man, I can't tell you how many times where I've just been sitting, and I'm one of them people, like if I'm sitting, I'm not doing something, like if I'm not, watching film or listening to music, like I'm one of them guys that gets stuck in their own head just thinking. And that's one of the serious things, but I've learned how to, what am I thinking about today? What did I do that was, an accomplishment in my eyes? Like today, I went and helped two of my buddies start building the deck. About took down the whole deck, but we didn't. So that was a victory for us.
There you
go. And then, I got to take, and do laundry. I hate doing laundry. That's a win for me. If I told myself I'm going to go do laundry, that's a win for me because I'm going to go do it. I hate doing it, but, and I got to get ready to go to DuBois. Oh my goodness, I got gas in my car. I got my oil changed. My tires are all checked. I mean, I'm good to go. Like that's a victory right there. You just got to find that small stuff and like work your way up.
Yep.
Because man, you really think it's like, man, I did pretty good today.
Yep.
One of them. What do your demons do today? just try beating you down off of it. No, you ain't gonna let them. You just learn to live with them and kick their ass once in a while.
Exactly, because if you think about that, we did an episode well, it's actually just came out on Tuesday about the blessings we overlook,
Yep.
and it's like Ashley said, uh, one day it rained and she had work to do, but she didn't realize that she had planned,
Mhm.
but she got the work done inside.
Yeah.
You got to look at the little things. You
Yeah.
beat that guy. You beat that demon. I mean, not
Yep.
that there was a demon there, but
Yeah.
there are things that try to stop you from doing
Yep.
things, and then there are things that work out that
Yeah.
you know what, maybe you did need to
Yeah.
just relax.
And that's one thing I can say. Like goodness, yesterday fought Heart Ranch down in Rapid City. Past 3 weeks have just been an absolute mud bath. It's just miserable, sticky. I hate to break it to you, 2 legs versus 4 in mud. 4 legs wins every single time. And a lot of people, they're getting on. God, I hate the mud. I hate that. What am I doing? I'm out there in my cleats just splashing around, having mud all over. I actually cleaned my hat today, but as you can tell, my hat's been through the mud. It was actually caked up today, but that's something, you just look, even though like everything could be against you, like the mud is horrible, the bulls are hooky. You just figure out what you got to do and you make it happen. Like for me, honestly, this is the funniest thing too, because nobody realizes it. Like when I'm out working, like, I help out with the bareback and the saddle bronc, running neck ropes or pulling gates or whatever. I'm jamming out to All American Rejects in my head. I'm dead serious. Like I figure out stuff. Like 2 weeks ago, I was listening to Ozzy Osbourne, and I was walking around. I can't remember the guy's name. Oh my goodness, he's running the gate or running the out gate. He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm singing Ozzy." He goes, "What song?" "Mama, I'm coming home." Just walking around. He's like, "What is this guy on?" Like, probably thought I was on some weird stuff, but no, I'm just, once you learn how to get high off life,
No, definitely.
oh my goodness, it is a blast. And man, you know what? I always say, like, I'm a bullfighter, not a rodeo clown. Oh no, I'm a clown when it comes to that. I'm fine being the clown. Like, that's what makes people happy.
And it does. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how I've become more happy. I mean, positive, happy, joyful in my life is because I haven't let those. I've beat the demons down. I wake up most every morning,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that I'm going to go see a sunrise. I take pictures of sunrises every
Yep.
morning usually, or to say something in the morning that I've thought of, like I've read something that kind of struck me, and I want people to think about it. But those things help me. Like the peace of climbing a mountain helps me. The
Yep.
peace of doing stuff helps me. And like you're the same. When we go to places, I'm that guy too. Like
Yep.
I'll think of something stupid ass to do.
Yeah.
I've 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 done some stupid ass things in my life.
Yep.
And here's the deal. People think that I do it and people laugh. And that's what it's about. Because
Yeah.
if they see that I can laugh at myself
Yeah.
and do something and just out there having a good
Yeah.
time, then maybe they can relax and say, you know what, I can let my hair down
Yep.
and have fun too.
Yeah. And people, they oversimplify living. Oh, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. Go do something that benefits you. If it's being, like, oh, I gotta be perfect, perfect, perfect. Great, good for you. I'm not perfect. No, I'm gonna look like a clown, and I'm gonna be laughing my ass off about it. I'm gonna be looking like a gooner out there. But
Yeah.
you know what? That's me.
Yep.
You don't like it? I don't care.
Yeah.
Your opinion doesn't bother me. I dress up. I put more makeup on than most girls, and I run around big scary bulls. So I mean, it's something like, that's how I look at it. Is your opinion don't matter.
Well, for those girls that put on as much makeup as you, I worry about.
Yeah, them poor things. You're pretty without it. Just saying. That's something they need to hear.
So no, that's kind of funny. But you're talking about, but being in the arena, but I've never fought bulls. I mean, I've talked to Jerry Norton,
Yep.
and but I've never asked this question. So if Jerry listens, but there has to be that like when you're in the arena, the gate opens, and for that, it's longer than 8 seconds, of course, because the they have to ride, and then you have to get them safely off. Things have to be quiet.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing too is, for the bullfighting, like I'm very vocal. Like at Heart Ranch, we're running a 3-man, which we have never done before. It's me and a good friend of mine. He's more experienced, and then another kid who's just started, and he's pretty green. So not only am I working this 3-man where I gotta watch this rider, I gotta watch his hips, how that bull's moving, how that bull's acting, if he's trying to get him well down, or if he's trying to cheat that bull, or that bull's trying to cheat him. I also gotta watch where's everybody else at? How is this triangle? Because when you're on a 3-man, you gotta have a perfect triangle. Otherwise, people get jammed up, and that's how jam ups cause accidents. And that's when a rider can get seriously hurt, killed.
Yeah.
That's how a bullfighter gets seriously hurt or killed. So I'm yelling. I might be going, telling, hey, go up. I'm slowing down. I'm just saying, keep fighting. And then I'll tell a bull rider, like, don't you get off until I tell you to get off.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
And yeah, goodness, it's just like there's a kid from North Dakota. I was fighting this Indian association for a damn long time. I had probably made so much money up there working them things. It was ridiculous. But this kid, I'm not joking you, he'd either find the well or the kid would ride the dog piss out of a bull. But he always drew the meanest, soggiest piece of crap bull. And he knew when I was out there, you're getting off when I tell you. And that's when my hand's on that bull's horn and he's right here.
Yeah.
That's when you go. And the funniest one, I have a video, I have those Ray-Ban stories. This bull's out there 1-2, whips around real fast, sees the other bullfighter, goes to chase him. That's when you start playing head and tail because it's just a game of tag out there.
Yeah.
And I tell him, you ready whenever you are. I got him.
Mm-hmm.
And stop. It's almost a walk because all bullfighting is working cows. That's all it is. They're just big cows with big horns.
Yeah.
And another cow's calf. But that bull come around and he pulls his tail and that bull kicks, so he's going off the ass end. He goes, get him, Reece, and that sucker is in my hip the entire time. And I'm not joking you. I probably made about this big of a circle, and that sucker is blowing past me. And it pissed me off because, like, as a bullfighter, like, my job is to keep that bull away from that bull rider. You know how funny it is when that bull rider's standing out there? Yeah, get him, Reece, get him. It's like, go to the fence, But, yeah, there is a lot that goes into bullfighting, which it has to be quiet, but your mind has to be open. Like, you have to turn off. That's one thing is, I feel like I'm pretty mentally strong.
Yeah.
Physically, I might look scrawny. I can take a hit like no other. A lot of people can't do that.
Yeah.
And that's where you got to be mentally strong, where you can turn off, where you can listen. Like, because I can tell you what, like, them freestyle bullfights from them Spanish fighting bulls, Mexican fighting bulls, Portuguese fighting bulls.
Yeah.
That's a whole new ball game because that's 99% mental, and that's a 1% physical, and that 1% physical really hurts when your 99% fails.
Mm-hmm.
Because all it is, it's a mind game. Because it doesn't make sense to fight something, with. There's a reason why over in Spain they kill them.
Yeah.
Like them things are meant, like they're called a fighting bull because they fight. They're fight to kill.
Yeah.
Like them things want to kill you.
They're mean.
Yeah. So when you go out there, like it's your A game.
Yeah.
You can't tell me anything in that bullfight. I turn it off.
Well, and that's where I was going at. Like, you probably hear your other clowns, but your mental game is like, I don't know. It's to me, it's like sports in any sport. Like in the moment, things slow down.
Yep.
And you can hear you have selective hearing.
Yep.
But you don't hear a crowd. You don't hear the announcer. You might hear the bull rider, but it's those three. Like you said, you were in a 3-man.
Yep.
A 3-man down at Heart Ranch. Like you would hear their voices. But, but everything else is like quiet. You're in that peaceful place. You're in that in that zone.
Yep. And the only sound that I can't hear when I'm working that is only when I'm arms deep around that bull and I hear that. Psh. It's like, all right, well, this is probably gonna hurt a little bit. But there's a thing like a big thing about bullfighting. I like to get deep. Like
Mhm.
that bull. We have a bull named the Circle 9 who brings the bulls down to Heart Ranch. They have a bull called Warzone. I hate that bull. Hate that damn bull so much. And he's such a cool bull. He's a white bull. They're not big horns, but they're fat and they got enough, like, they're not long, but they're not, and they're short, but they're just stubby enough.
Yeah.
Enough to, that sucker's going to hit you. It's going to hurt.
Yep.
And I remember would have been about 2 weeks ago. I had a clown at Heart Ranch. Hate clowning. I'm not that funny. And trying to come up with jokes on the spot and acts on the spot does not work. But one of the kids I was riding, I've known him all my life, and I just knew this bull was a little too much for him. And I know this bull's hot, and I knew right where this kid's gonna go. And it's so weird, but talking with another bullfighter, like we have hand signals, because I ain't gonna tell, hey, this bull's hot. I ain't gonna give that kid that mind thing.
No.
And this is that fist against the hand. That's a metaphor, like, oh, this thing's gonna hit you.
Yeah.
So we come up to figure out, like, certain signs. Like he's gonna hook up. This is a pup. Overhand. Certain riding styles. Pinky. He might hang up if he comes off the wrong side, or pulls his wrap, don't come off all the way. And we figured out how to communicate. Me and the one bullfighter that when we first started fighting, before we introduced this 3-man, we are so quiet. Like, we don't even talk the entire thing, because we just feel each other.
Yeah.
But when that Warzone bull, when that kid bucked off, my other bullfighter stepped in, and he was in there, and all he was, right by the buck and shoot, he's going in there. All I had to do was pull him up across and go all the way up top. Nope, because I knew right there, because I knew that bull, you can read these things, and just like how I read the other fighters.
Yep.
Well, this bullfighter, he's going here. Well, I see that he's getting pinched in this latch, so I need to step in and pull this bull. But I know if I pull this bull, this rider who's coming off the back ass of me has a very straight, narrow shot of getting mucked out. That bull don't pick up with me, so it's get deep. Get deep. I'm not joking. I'm bear hugging this bull. The one of the meanest bulls they have too. And honestly, he was actually pretty dog gentle the last week before, like after he wrecked us out. He was pretty dog gentle, which blows my mind. Like, they have their days too.
Yeah.
But that's something, like, you just gotta. I don't know. I learned how to feel off stuff, and it's just become second nature. Like, I don't know, but one thing, like, big, like, I have my bullfighting page, like my Instagram.
Yep.
I don't know if you looked into that.
I did. Yep. You looked into me. I looked into you.
Yep. So there's a picture of me standing over that bull rider with a bull, and this bull is in my hip, in my ass, like, had my hand around his ear, like, it's go time. Like, this rider is not leaving my legs, and I'm not leaving him. So.
Yeah.
Bull, I don't know what you're thinking, but I remember, man, I was so down in the dumps. I was battling so hard because, losing my uncle, like, man, that was my person. That was my rock.
Yep.
Losing him was so hard. And, man, I remember I was sitting there and that picture came up. And I was like, well, I need to make a post talking now. Like, it's okay not to be okay. So all I did was, like, went on Snapchat and I put, suicidal thoughts was on the bull. That rider was your friends, loved ones, yourself. And then me stepping over was one phone call or a text.
There you go.
And I can't tell you how many people, like, I have my own merchandise with my, my bullfighting logo on that. The craziest thing in the world is I went out to, goodness gracious, Mesa, Arizona. Flew out to Mesa, Arizona to go see some buddies, and saw this person wearing this weird shirt, this weird black shirt with a picture of, like, it was really poorly printed, but it was that picture. was like, oh my god, this is in Mesa, Arizona.
Yeah.
I have a buddy from from Canada, and he was flying into Calgary, and he sends me a picture. He goes, "Do you know anybody from Canada?" I was like, "Not really. Besides you, I know a
Yeah.
handful of people, but I
Yeah.
don't know them that well." He's like, "Well, this gal's wearing your shirt." I was like, "What do you mean wearing my shirt? I haven't sold nothing to nobody from Canada." He goes, "No." And it's that picture again. I'm like, so it's making a purpose out there, and that's something like, I have a pretty dinner plate belt buckle
Yeah.
on right now. This don't mean shit to me. It's a
Yeah.
piece of metal.
Yeah.
You know what? In 70 years, this might be worth $100 at the pawn shop. So I know when my great 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 grandkids or whatever it is, one's down the line, need some beer money or something when they're in college, they're probably gonna pawn that off. But whatever. But I that's what I'm living for now. Is I'm trying to make a difference, and I'm doing it through fighting bulls. And
Well, that's why I'm happy we connected.
mm-hmm.
I'm happy Lacey connected us together. She's a wonderful person.
Lacey is an absolute doll. Love Lacey, all my heart.
There is there is not a better person than Lacey Singleton, and I'm
Nope.
telling you that she is one of my favorites. And
Yep.
it's funny because we talk about this too, because every once in a while, like Lacey and I don't talk like every week, but
Yep.
we talk enough, and
Mm-hmm.
there'll be those days, I don't know what it is, and she's said this before, but there's those days that I'm going to send a text to Lacey,
Yeah.
see how she's doing, and
Yep.
she said, I needed that,
Mm-hmm.
and that makes me feel happy because
Yeah.
things when those things out of the blue connect people,
Yep.
and then you become friends, and then you can
You can rely on
yeah,
somebody.
Lacey can call me, you could call me now,
Yeah.
because
Mm-hmm.
we know each other. We
Yeah.
didn't know each other before, but
No.
you need something. We're there, like, to do so, to
Yeah.
help.
And that's one thing too. Is I think um, Lacey and I, we got to talking, and she puts on that Sober Cowboy Rodeo.
Yeah.
And goodness, I remember after I was following with that, and I was like, oh man, I'm so happy for you guys. Like, you
Yeah.
guys are doing great. But she invited me to this like Sober Cowboy, like kind of like a daily blog type deal. And I don't know, because this is weird doing a podcast, because I can't listen to people talk. It's weird. Like, I'm a very big music guy, and podcasts are like, I can sit and like watch, but like I couldn't listen to the whole thing without falling asleep. Like, it's kind of just a safe deal for me. Like, I'll fall asleep to podcasts.
Yeah.
But like in daily blogs, it's just been like, you know what? It's not my thing. But you know what? Lacey's supporting me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna support Lacey. I'm not joking you how many times I've had it late at night. When I'm just like, man, I don't want to wake anybody up. I'm just going to go to that blog post. And I'm not a religious guy.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure that out. And looking there, and she'll send a Bible quote in there, and I'll read it. I'm like, before I even read the quote, I'm like in there. I, say it's John 3:16 or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll go to John 3:16. Whatever the quote was.
Yeah.
Go in my Bible and read it, and then I'll just turn off my phone. And I'll read it, and then I'll just start reading. I'm like, I needed that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not like she intended to do that, but that's something too. And Lacey, the one thing I really like about Lacey is because I went through an addiction, and I was a bad drinker. That's bad on certain stuff that I'm not going to say.
Yeah,
but,
I hear you.
Certain drugs that I've done, and there's certain stuff like I'm not proud of, but like now, like I'm confident enough to say that, and I got sober off that drug, and I'm working on my drinking, and it takes time. Like it don't change overnight. Like Rome wasn't built in a day.
No.
And one thing I really appreciate about Lacey is you could fail, and she's not gonna be like, well, how could you do that? No, because Lacey's like, I'm proud of you, because it took a lot for you to say like, oh, you know what, I messed up. I'm gonna try again.
Yep.
And all it is about the try. And goodness, that Sober Cowboy, like, it's such a good platform. I'm so happy for Lacey that's finally getting big.
I am too.
And that gal deserves it.
She does, and the work that she puts into it. I mean, she has her full-time job, and then she has that, and what she does is amazing. And it's interesting too, because we look at cowboy movies, and we look at cowboys and we look at them going to the bar and getting that bottle of whiskey and give me a shot, in the
Yup.
Western movies and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And that's what we think of. But for her to come out with this sober cowboy and say, you don't need to do that.
No.
And you can still be Western and still not have to drink a beer
Yup.
or any alcohol. If you
Mm-hmm.
need, you can enhance the Western lifestyle by being a sober cowboy.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when we went up to the bucking horse sale, I never, we had talked, but I've never met her.
Yeah.
And then we walked in, and she was she's just an amazing person.
Yeah. She's just down to earth.
Yeah.
She's someone like, man, if you're struggling, like, I bet you if she didn't even have to know you.
No.
Hey, can I talk to you about something? She'd sit there and she'd listen for hours upon hours.
And I don't know if we did an episode earlier this year. We were kind of caught up, and she was talking about that somebody called her. I don't know if you know the story. Somebody called her and said that they were in trouble and they needed to go to rehab like now.
Yeah.
And then she called somebody that was closer,
Mm-hmm.
and that guy, without any question,
Just went and did it.
went and picked up the guy, took him to the rehab. And here's the deal: most people, like, for somebody to call Lacey, and if Lacey called me and said, this guy is relatively close to you, you go pick him up, I would say, yep, I'll be right there, Lacey, because it's Lacey.
Yeah.
And she needs, sometimes I wonder if Lacey knows the importance that she's putting into this world, but she is.
Yep. And that's one thing I hope she's realizing is, like, the drinking in the cowboy lifestyle world, that's never going to go away. Some people just, they think that's how it is, and you know what? It's just never going to go away.
Yep.
But I don't think Lacey's deal will ever go away.
No.
Because you got to have that group that just isn't like the norm.
Yep.
And the stigma of the whole lifestyle. And like, I personally think like Lacey's deal's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and just grow. And I can't wait till Lacey doesn't have to have a full-time job, and that's her whole team, because I think that's what's truthfully going to happen. That
is exactly what should be happening.
Yeah.
So, and it's kind of crazy that, but I hope she for sure just keeps on getting bigger and bigger and bigger, because she deserves it. When she put so much work into that, and it is just amazing.
Yeah, and that's something too and she's just, I don't know, she puts in the effort and she tries, and that's one thing. Like, I support a lot of people, but the way she supports everybody that supports her, like, she has a group of winners around her.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that's a true thought in my eyes, is you got to hang out with winners to be a winner.
Yep.
And man, she's not only is she hanging out with a group of winners, she's building winners.
Well, she is building winners.
Yep.
And whatever I can do to support her, I certainly try, because it's different coming. People don't understand. Like, sometimes country people are different.
Yeah.
And we coming from the country, and then because we will go that extra effort and help those people out. I'm not saying other people won't either, but but
it's more frequent in our kind of lifestyle.
And being from South Dakota, like like people. It's funny how people talk about miles. I was like, well, we'll be there in an hour or two. You know what I mean? It's not like so many miles.
And I can't even remember the last time someone said how many miles it was to somewhere. They go, yeah, I'll be right over there just a bit.
Yeah.
Or, goodness, the funniest ones are like, oh, when do you think you'll be here? Give you Indian time. Okay. So could be right on time, could be about 3 hours late. You never know, but
exactly.
We're different up here. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, we're
Yeah.
It's funny because like Rehide's over in East
Yeah.
River, and like my mom's from the Chamberlain area.
Yeah.
East River and West River are completely different,
Totally.
way different. And like you get more of the farm kids, that, and then you get
Yeah.
the ranch kids on the west side. And
Yep.
man, honestly, they're so much different, but it's so similar because it's just hard work and grit. That's all it is. And the people that work hard, you know, hate to break it to you, like there's a reason why I like ranching, and farming is one of the leading causes of suicide. Like, or is like one of the highest jobs in the suicide
Yep.
death market, or not the market, but the polls.
Yep.
And like sometimes, like, yeah, I mean, goodness, you work so hard, and you have all that, and sometimes you don't have it. But I think it's getting a lot better than what people think, because I think there's a lot more help for us now, like especially for the farmers and ranchers, because people are like making that like, hey, it's okay to like ask for help.
Yeah.
You're not a failure if this isn't going right, or you're running out of money. Like, that don't make you a failure. No.
And just because just because you think there needs to be things done,
Yeah.
you can take a day off.
Yeah. And goodness, and that's something like you're gonna work yourself to death. Like, this is the funniest thing. And I heard this. I was in, where the hell was I? Actually, I was in Browning, Montana, and I was outside the casino, and I was having a really bad night and needed to smoke a cigarette. And there was, I don't know whether if he was homeless or not. It kind of seemed like I'm living on the street type deal, but no. And he was asking me for a cigarette. Gave him a cigarette. It's my last one too. I was like, why not? He was an older gentleman. He was a veteran too, so I was just kind of got to talking, and he was like, "What do you think you're doing wrong so far?" I think I'm working too hard. I'm not taking care of myself. He goes, you know, if the owner of the ranch passed on to the hardest worker, the mule would be running the ranch or the farm. And that has stuck with me so long. Like, man, I can take a day off and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
My goodness, I could take a week off if I needed to.
Yep.
Take the time you need to better yourself, I think, and
Because, like when I worked on the ranch, I was a young kid. I was your
Yep.
age. I'm the night caver because you're the young kid. And,
Yep.
and we calved out 1,000 heifers.
Yep.
And then we'd go into embryo cows and start the early cows. And
Yep.
I was calving for 3 months.
Yep.
Go more or less. And then all of a sudden you're getting into Memorial, the May, and then
Yep.
we AI'd. So then you're 45 days AIing, and then
Yep.
you're haying, and you have to realize that you need to take a day off here somewhere in between there.
So much more to work in life. Like, hard work is a very important thing. I think a lot of people need to learn hard work.
Yeah.
I think a lot of kids need to go pound some fence posts by hand.
Yeah.
I'm not talking, just old T-posts. I'm talking about some wood posts.
Yeah.
But goodness, like, yeah, you got to be able to take care of yourself. And that's just not, you got to be able to take a day off if you need it. And, like, goodness, man, I go bullfighting so hard, I get burnt out on the road so fast. You don't think I just take a day off and I just go to sleep the whole entire day, where I, do PT, or, go sit in a hot tub or something, just relax, trying to get my body to calm down. Because, man, like, you're going to burn yourself. You burn yourself out.
Yeah.
And you wonder why people struggle so much. Like, oh my God, I hate my job. I hate that. It's because you're burning yourself out. Take a day off. Call it good.
Yeah, because, I think also, I mean, being from rural areas and stuff, you don't realize by not taking, when we're talking about suicide,
Yep.
when in ranching and farming, like, you aren't taking that day off. And unless your spouse is right beside you all day long,
you're alone.
Yep. And then they want to spend time with you, and you're making the ranch or the work.
Yep.
I'm not even saying the ranch. I'm saying work more important than your family.
Yep.
You're starting to hurt your family, and then you wonder. Then you wonder why you're getting divorced, because they couldn't handle
Yup.
that you were working all the time, and then you're alone, and now you're really
Yeah.
alone,
Yeah.
and you can't handle it, and so you do need to take that
Yeah.
time.
Yup.
That's, I mean, my dad,
Yup.
it was hard for him to take a day
Yup.
off, and I think some of the things, like, you don't, he may not realize that some of those days off, could have, you could go do something.
Yeah.
And that's, and he's one of those people that says, well, I don't know what's going on,
Yeah.
or we'll have to see. Well, I'm giving you 2 weeks to figure this
Yeah.
out.
Exactly.
I mean, he's retired now. I'm
Yup.
giving you 2 weeks to figure it, or
Yup.
a month, whatever.
Yup.
Like, let's go do something.
Yup.
But I've got to the point too there where I'm not going to, and maybe I should, but I asked you twice.
Yup.
You must not want to go with me, so I
Yeah.
give up.
Yup.
And people need to realize that part too. Like,
Yup.
I'm trying to do something with you,
Yup.
and I'm saying that could be the wife too. Let if you're in Chamber, let's go to Rapid City for
Yeah.
a weekend.
Yup.
Let's kind of go do something. Or the Black Hills.
Yup.
I wouldn't want to really go to Rapid City for fun.
No. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, outside rapid,
There you
super
go.
fun.
I hear you
Inside
there.
rapid, traffic up the ass.
Exactly. But you know what I mean? You got to realize that maybe you need to go do that with somebody.
Yeah. And one thing I think people need to, honestly, I think people need to be spontaneous. They
Yeah.
need to start doing that. And I don't know how many times we're, hey, you want to go do this? Yeah, let's do it. Give us like going to a concert, like, oh, I'm listening to this deal. I'm gonna look at what their thing is. Oh, they're playing there. Ain't got nothing going on. Let's just buy the ticket. And that's something like I want people to realize, like, you can afford to do stuff. You don't have to work and work and work just because you need more money to your bank account. Like, you can't take it with you when you go. This is like the truest thing that I learned was when I watched my best friend go in the casket. When they closed that for the final time, that was like a real, man, this hurts. And I gave him, I used to have a turquoise and coral pendant that I had on the back of here, and I left that with him. And I was sitting there, and I'm like, all the buckles he won, all the money, all the Pendleton he stole from me when we were shit kids in high school. I'm like, he didn't take any of that with him. He had it on the clothes that he was, put in the casket with, and he had that pendant and a couple other knickknacks from some buddies. And
yeah,
it's insane to me because like people get so caught up in these materialistic things that you're forgetting the whole point. Like, it's, I don't know. Like my old man, he's one like, you can't afford to do that. Bull honky, if I can go do it and I can get out there and I can get back, I can afford it. And that's something that I think that's where me and my dad are very much alike, but very much different. Because I want to leave a legacy. What legacy is that if you're working your ass off all the time? Which I'm not saying you don't have. You do got to work and you got to work your ass off, but not every day. Like, go live life. Like, there's so much more to work, and I'm kind of the hippie of my family, I guess. Like, my sister, she works in the mines. She's a chemical engineer, and she makes a lot of money. Bought a house, has all this. And the last time I talked to her, she's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" I was like, "I'm listening to Led Zeppelin, eating pizza in my living room. What are you doing?"
Yeah.
I'm eating with life. I was like, "Oh, no, Led Zeppelin with pizza.
Yeah.
Just hanging out in the living room. Like, I'm doing me."
Well, I've argued this point in that you can go do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like Cindy and I, depending on weather sometimes, but we throw a tent in and you can go anywhere.
Yeah.
And we go to the Bighorns, we go ever, because lodging is probably your biggest expense. You stay in your vehicle.
Yeah.
We throw a tent in and go there.
You know how many people I can call when I go places? Like, to DuBois, I had to call a buddy of mine, and I was like, "Hey, I'm up in DuBois. Isn't that like 45 minutes from Riverton?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Can I come crash on your couch for like 2 hours so I can get like on the road for this other bullfight on Saturday?" He goes, "You ain't gotta ask. The door's always open for you. You got a key." I was like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I do," but just
Yeah.
wanted to ask. Like,
No.
you can afford stuff, and like that's the one thing. Like, what I'm meaning by social media can be a real big thing. Like, man, I have buddies that I don't talk to every day. If I text them like, "Hey man, I need a place to crash tonight. You care?" Absolutely, come here. Or
Yep.
like, "Hey, I'm stuck at the airport. Can you come get me?"
Yep.
I got you. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. People overthink life is just got to work and have all this money. And
Because I do agree with you. Like
you know,
65, if you retired at 65 and die at 66, what did you live for?
nothing. You live to work, and I'm not saying like because man is made to work.
Yeah.
But man's not made to just work and be miserable
No.
just to die and not take anything.
Yes.
If I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out swinging, and I'm gonna go out with some memories. Like, this is the way I look at it. In my occupation, like goodness, I had a horn go through my skull, like right on my temple,
Really?
like 2 centimeters. I would have been dead on impact. It's the same force about a Jeep Cherokee hitting you at 30 miles an hour against like a concrete wall. You don't
Yeah.
really think about that, but 30 miles an hour is quite fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I realized like, damn, I can die doing this, and that's where it clicks. It's like, but I didn't die,
Yep.
and why? I'm just gonna keep living. And I come to the like realization, if I was to die doing this, at least it's dying what I know what I love. Because the biggest fear to me is I'm gonna be 100 and some odd years old, sitting in a nursing home, no loved ones, or just sitting there and rotting. I don't want to sit there and rot. No, I want to. Like, if I'm gonna live, I'm gonna live good. Like, I don't care if I was to, say if I make it to 45 and just boom, just keeled over. I wouldn't want that, but I'm gonna live the life that I want rather than, okay, I'm gonna work so long and get here. I got all this money and I just retired. Boom, just keel right there. I don't want that. I'd rather go out the way we're supposed to go, and it's living your life how you want to. And if you want to work your ass off and do that, I'm rooting for you, man. But that's not me. I just want people to think like there's more to life than work.
Well, you made me think of two things, and the one was, but did you die?
Yeah, but did you die?
And the other one is we did an episode called 24 Hours to Live,
Mm-hmm.
and it was about, would you be at panic if you knew you had 24 hours to live? This isn't a suicide thing. This
No.
is God came down and said, I'm giving you an opportunity here to
Yep.
figure your life out. You have
Mhm.
24 hours to live. Would you be at panic or would you be at peace? And we had I call them the Ricktastics. We get
Mhm.
4 of us together and we talk, but that brought up a lot of questions from people that
Yep.
kind of message us and think, I don't know. I think I'd be at panic. And Lacey said she'd be out and listening to music and enjoying her friends and this and that. But I just remembered that one off the top of my head. But the reason I brought that up is
Mhm.
it's not about dying. It's about living.
Yeah.
Are you living to, because most people that aren't at peace
Mhm.
aren't living.
No. There's 2 dates that are the most important in your life. And it's on your headstone or your gravestone when you pass. When you were born, then when you die. But you ever see what's in the middle of that? How there's a dash?
Yep.
That dash is the only thing that fucking matters. And if you think anything differently, you're wrong.
And
Because that dash is how you lived,
I agree with you.
And that's something that people need to realize is there's more to life.
Because, like you said, the only thing that I'm taking with me when I die is my memories.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that's the only thing you ever have
Yeah.
is your memories. And if people would start realizing the most valuable commodity, the most valuable thing they have in their life is time.
Yep.
And we don't know how much time we have.
No.
And I'm not going to cut it short.
No. Well, why cut it short? There's, time, like, yes, time is an enemy, but truthfully, like, I'm 22. I think I'm gonna die in a year. No. Do I know? No, but I don't think so. I truthfully think I'm gonna live quite a long life.
Yeah.
My mom doesn't think so because it's bullfighting, but what does she know?
That's mom.
Yeah, that's just mom. But I got a lot of time. I really do, and it's more than people think. People get into this panic mode. That's why I think a lot of people like want to be at peace. Like they can, live that last 24 hours like nothing bad was going to happen. That panic sets in like nothing's going right. It's like, you think everything's supposed to be just perfect, perfect, perfect all the time? Like, it's kind of like if you got an anthill. You step on that anthill, all these ants are panicking and panicking. You know what happens? Them suckers build a mountain a little bigger.
Yep.
You build off what you got.
Exactly.
And if you don't know what you got, then keep building.
I agree.
Because it's like you got a credit card. Someone give you a credit card and tell you go crazy, go wild. They don't tell you how much, but you keep going. I mean, you're getting up here, and like, well, why not keep going? Like, if there's no limit, there's no limit. So
no, and that's what Don't Die Rusty's about.
Yeah.
Like, keep moving, keep your body moving, keep your brain moving, and just keep moving. Keep chasing your dreams. Keep being. You can chase your dreams and still be the best you.
Yeah.
But make sure your memories are more important than money.
Yeah. You can be so rich or so broke with so much money. That's all you have.
Yeah.
But you can be so rich with memories and like, goodness, yeah. I'm 22 and I'm rich in memories. I could go on blabbering about all my rodeo memories.
Yeah.
That's not even just me like living. That's just rodeo.
Yep.
That's my job technically.
Yeah.
But see, that's what I mean. It's like you can work your ass off on something. You can work your ass off with work, but you can make it where you're living at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Some people just don't realize that. Well, I think a lot of people do. Like when we were talking about them high school kids, where they just kind of get back to their moms. I think everybody needs to leave their hometown for at least a year. Some people got to go back. Some people are just that's home. That's always home.
Nope,
but I think everybody needs to go out on their own for a while at least and just figure out like who are you even, because man, I can't remember the last time I talked to my mom and was like, Mom, I have no idea what I'm doing. Like I need advice. My mom will ask, hey, do you need any advice? Well, I could think of a couple things, but I'm one of those guys where it's like it's my journey. I got to figure it out myself. When I get really stumped is when I'm going to call my mom and be like, Mom, I'm freaking out right now. What do I do? And give me your guidance. Don't tell me what to do. Give me your guidance. What do you think would be good for me?
I love hearing that because my mom died a couple years ago, but that's the one thing that I truly miss is the guidance. It's not, she would only, well, I can't say she wouldn't, but I said a couple times she said you need to do this, but she'd mostly guide, like gently nudge.
That's something like, if there's any parents listening to this, like, don't listen to a 22-year-old, but listen to a 22-year-old.
Yeah.
Like, you don't always got to tell them what to do. Like, they're probably not going to listen, but if you gotta just guide them, you know what, I think you should do just here's that. Then they'll really think about it rather than, oh, you need to do this.
Exactly.
Well, no, I ain't going to do nothing like that. It's general teenage or, even I'm 22. I can't remember the last time I said, well, I ain't going to do that. I'm going to do my thing.
Well, when I was 22, I would have done the opposite. Just because just because you're trying to prove a point that you can. And then if you failed, then you failed. And then they'd say, I told you so. But
can't knock you for trying.
No. But, when you grow older and they see that they've helped you become who you are, and then you go to them and just have those conversations about life, that's the best part. But right now, you got to spread your wings. You got to see who you are. Like I said, I was in Australia, and I didn't have anybody to say yay or nay.
Yeah, and that's, you can't fly if you never leave the nest.
No.
And I don't know if you ever seen that video, but it was like these little birds. They're like the little chicks, and they had to learn how to fly. Well, the sucker hit that mountain real hard, and I thought he was dead. Like, it rolls, gets back up, and just starts flapping again. Couldn't fly. Well, eventually he started flying.
Yeah.
It took like a whole year, but like he eventually flew. It's like,
Yep.
you gotta let him fly, man.
You do.
It's,
And then you come back,
yep.
and then you say thank you.
Mhm.
I didn't. Here's the thing: when you're young, you don't realize what they're doing, and
Yep.
I don't even know if our parents know what they're doing
Yep.
in that aspect of. But you come back and say thank you
Yep.
when you get older, and then say, you know what, thank you for gently nudging me here.
Yep.
Not gently, but sometimes I was told,
Yep.
But you know what? The greatest thing about my parents were that I wanted to, if I had a dream, I was going to go do it.
Yeah.
And they didn't stop me. I stopped myself in a lot of things because I thought I needed to be this. I needed to
Yep.
be that. And then when I started learning that I didn't have to be anything, that's when I grew.
Yep.
I had to be Rick. That's when
Yep.
you grow. And when you know that you have to be Reece,
Mhm.
because that's who you are.
Yep.
You're Reece the bull, like I said earlier, the Reece the bullfighter, or you're
Mhm.
Reece this and that.
Yep.
But you're Reece.
Yep.
I'm Rick. And when you realize that stuff, that's when life
Just
really
gets
starts.
simple.
It does.
And it just,
It's like you can give the middle finger and
Yeah.
to whatever, and you don't care.
Yeah. And that's one thing too. It's like, man, when you just stop caring and it's just peace, man, them demons are getting their asses kicked on your inside of your head, and like that's the best like mental medicine I think it is. Just quit giving a shit.
That's right.
I mean,
I don't,
yeah,
because I mean, heck, you're 22, 20. It didn't matter. I mean, I would probably say, I mean, I got married, let me see, 5 years ago, but we dated before that. And then like I said, about that divorce that we talked about
Yeah.
earlier and stuff. But I was always trying to impress somebody or trying
Yeah.
to feel like I needed to do something. But when I got confidence and said, you know what, I'm Rick, you're going to have to put up with me, or
Yep.
let's
Yep. End it there.
end it right now, because you may not.
Yep.
And Cindy, for some reason, said okay.
Yep. No
but
kidding.
that's when, like you said, you get peace. The demons start getting less power.
Yeah. Yep. And I think people pleasing is a flaw in a lot of people,
It is.
because it's like, why do you gotta please them? Like, your satisfaction ain't enough. You need theirs too.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just, I'm just to the point where you don't like me. You don't got to. I didn't ask you to. I mean, you're if you're around me, that's probably on like most of the time your choice, because
Yeah.
like I keep like I know, like I said, I know a lot of people and I have a lot of good friends.
Yeah.
But I have also a very tight circle.
Yeah.
So this is how I vision it basically. Is I got a little small circle, and that is my tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my ride or dies. Them are my, like, we're going to hell. And
Yep. I hear
we're
you.
gonna walk through hell together if we got to go to hell.
Yeah. Exactly.
And around it, I have another circle, and that's even my ride or dies, or the people I'll walk through hell with. Sometimes they just swap out. Sometimes they come
Yep.
in and out.
Yep.
Sometimes they just go. Sometimes they leave the circle completely. But you got to realize what circle is what circle.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, in that big circle, if they judging you and don't think you're this, it's like, who the hell cares? They're not in that circle. They're not, someone like, in that small circle, like, hey, I think you're going down a bad path. That's when you go, oh, why do you think that? Like, what makes you see? Like, you're more keen to listen to someone who you've been around with multiple than rather than someone you've been around with, say a month. You're on a bad path. Maybe you're on it with me. You ever think about that? Saying a snarky ass comment rather than, well, why do you think I'm on a bad path? Or, vice versa. You say it to them, if you don't know somebody, then the likelihood of them listening is, I mean, it's hard, but
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how life goes. You just got to figure out that circle and keep that small circle tight and keep
Yep.
it super tight. Because that's your 3 a.m.s. That's your shoulders.
I agree with you.
You got to have them, you know.
Yep. So, how can people reach you and get any shirts or anything?
On Facebook, Reece Schweigert, ReeceSchweigert.
Yep.
I have Instagram. That's the crying clown. I think it's like crying without a
Without
G,
the G.
so crying.
Yep.
And then I'd say Facebook's probably the best. It's weird because I was always making fun of people for being on Facebook being old. I'm old now.
I hear you.
Like Facebook's the bread and butter of everything, but yeah, Facebook's probably the best place to get at me for that if you want something.
Well, we'll put you in the show notes and have people how to get a hold of you, and then but I this has been a 2-hour conversation.
Yep.
I didn't realize. I went, holy smokes! But
Yep.
I thank you for coming on.
I appreciate you having me. It was a blast.
But I'm going to ask you. We always ask one question at the end. So, and you're 22.
Yep.
But I'm going to ask you this right now. What's the good life to Reece?
It's a good life to Reece. Not caring about what other people think, doing what makes you happy, what keeps you going down the road, no matter what. It's you first. But if you're, into the Bible and all that, make sure you always think like that's up there first too.
Yep.
So you got to find find something that drives you. Like, don't people please. Don't worship false people, false idols, because they're not worth worshiping and stuff like that and trying to be like them. Just be you. Figure out your hope or your religion or your grasp on stuff. And just quit caring, man. Just be your own person. Live the good life. Get deep in life.
All right.
That's what it needs to be. So.
Well, and thank you, Lacey Singleton, for an official Silver Cowboy, for getting us together. But this was, there's conversations that sometimes make you feel better, and this one made me feel better, even though it wasn't about a good subject. It made me feel like you get things out.
If it's only a bad subject if you make it a bad subject. So if you could bring light to it, it's a good subject.
Exactly, and I hope if you're in trouble and you need people to talk to, you can certainly come to one of us on social media. I would just, or if you don't have our numbers or whatever. But please, people, if there is something so bad that you're thinking about doing something stupid, don't do it, and give us a call.
Yeah.
Or give us a message.
Don't make a temporary problem a permanent solution. It's okay not to be okay. There's help out there. Just, you got to want it. And I'm more than happy to sit, listen.
Yep.
If you need me to talk and give my input, I'll give my input. But if you need me to sit and listen, I can do that. So.
Well, thank you so much for coming up here and being together. And I love that we could get together this quick. And I love that, that was amazing. And it's way better than doing it online. Yep. Anyway, Don't Die Rusty Nation, I hope you love the conversation. And as usual, keep chasing your dreams, being the best you, and don't die rusty.
Thank you for listening to the Don't Die Rusty podcast with your hosts, Rick Hanson and Ricky Bruley. The Don't Die Rusty podcast is written and produced by Rick Hanson and Ricky Bruley. You can find us on Instagram and on Facebook at Don't Die Rusty. You can rate and review this show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You might find your review read on a future episode. Got a question for the Ricks? Send us an email at don'tdierusty@gmail.com. It too could be featured on a future episode. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Don't Die Rusty podcast wherever fine podcasts are downloaded.